IRC Super Season 7. We are here at the Hungary ring for round 12 of this epic season so far. It's been absolutely fantastic stuff indeed there. Of course, I think there might be some people that would just be out doing the clapping again for the NHS, and I gotta say, I salute all you guys out there. Brilliant stuff indeed then. I did my clapping about 2 minutes ago, so I'm a little bit against the grain, but oh well. But yeah, we do of course appreciate everything that the NHS does for us, and luckily for you guys, we've got an expert in the commentary box again, and it's Patrick, of course, the man who has gone 2 for 2 in Elite so far, and he did very well around here last night. So I'm going to be asking him some racing tips, mainly for me because I'm selfish, but of course you guys also like it as well, and how to win around here and how to become successful. Patrick, good evening, sir. How's it going?
Good evening. I am fabulous. Thank you for asking. I hope you're well. And I would like to say the same. Anyone who works in NHS or on the frontline workers doing a fantastic job. It's good to see that everyone's showing their appreciation. And yeah, I'm just excited for another great race. If it's anything like Germany was last week, this will be epic. So I am very excited.
And epic it was, wasn't it? My goodness me. Germany felt like such a long race to me. It feels like we had like 2 or 3 races in that single race. It was absolutely amazing stuff. Just go and quickly share the stream across all platforms, and then we'll get going then. And I'm really looking forward to this one. So I've got 14 turns around this 2.7 mile circuit. This circuit has it's been on the calendar since 1986. Oh, blimey me, that was 3 years before I was born. I'm feeling old now. And I remember back when I was a little nipper, I wasn't really that keen on this circuit, but looking back on some of the races around here, there have been some absolutely incredible races. The track was adapted way back in 2003, wasn't it? Of course, they extended turn 1, didn't they? And they also, I think, extended turn 12 as well, didn't they? It used to be more of a Mickey Mouse chicane, didn't it? But now it's more of a right angle-hander, isn't it? Of course, the thing I remember about that is I'm sure Kufar went head over heels there in 2005, didn't he? In the Red Bull as well. So we've had some interesting stuff down there. We're almost ready to get going, but before we do, let's quickly go through the drivers and the constructors stand-in, shall we? Because we've only got an hour of qualifying. I want to ask Patrick a few things about this circuit, and of course the man who had an absolutely incredible race around here last night. It was absolutely impeccable, wasn't he? So and he's really turned the form book on his head in Elite. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he makes of it all. It'll be good stuff indeed. Anyway, quickly going through the championship standing, shall we? Of course, T. Sammy is the man on top still, isn't he? And he's almost got a 100-point lead now. The actual gap is 98 points so far. To Asdog has moved out to 2nd position. Matt is dropping down to 3rd so far. Steve has moved up to 5th, gone up 2 positions, whilst Fizzy dropping down 2 positions after a pretty difficult race last time out. Sprint is up into 9th position, and Dave, of course, who retired after the Monaco Grand Prix, is still in 10th position. Well, good stuff indeed. Nothing else really moved in the championship. Well, basically it was all static really, apart from those guys that just swapped positions. In the constructors, Toro Rosso's got a 99-point advantage over a Racing Point, who is 2nd at the moment. They've just jumped up into 2nd position after Red Bull dropped down to 3rd position on 204 points. McLaren and Alfa Romeo have also swapped positions in at 4th and 5th position. Ferrari in 6th position, with Mercedes 7th. It's a good old battle between Mercedes and Ferrari, is 64 and 62 points apiece. Renault are on 29 points, 26 for Haas and 14 for the Williams pair. And we're almost getting ready to get ourselves going in. Of course, Toon just said good evening, Sean. Good evening, Toon. And of course, and Toon there is also hopefully, and Sprint's also said good evening, Sean and Patrick. Hello. So we get into qualifying then. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most important qualifyings of the season, I would say, in terms of that, because look, it's a very technical track, isn't it? It's a dust bowl, isn't it? But last night, Patrick, how did you find the race last night? And what is your secrets to success around here, if you don't mind sharing it us with the viewers?
Yes, it's a very technical track. It must be said. Of course, the first track to do a lot of things was the first track. First track to go behind the Iron Curtain, of course. First track where Arrows almost took their first ever victory, but that never happened in 1997. But yeah, I quite enjoy it. I mean, it's a track that differs opinion from most people. Some people hate it, some people love it. Not a lot of people stay in between, but crucially around this track, you've got to get the start of the 2nd sector right. Quick left-hander turn 4, followed into turn 5, and the 6th and 7th chicane. That is the place where you're going to gain the most time on your competitors. So you've got to have quite a high downforce setup for this track, because the main straight isn't that long anyway, so you can't do a lot of overtaking. So if I was the people sat in the lobby tonight, I'd be strapping on a lot of downforce and making sure I get as high up the grid as possible, because overtaking around here is not easy at all.
It used to be described as Monaco without the barriers, didn't it? Or saying, looking at some of these images now, the barriers seem relatively close as well. We had 2 safety cars, I think, last night, didn't we? So, do you plan about safety cars in your strategy, or is it kind of, or can't you do that? You can't really gamble on that? How do you play it?
I mean, personally, if the safety car comes out about lap 8 to 10ish, you can pit under that. You can pit under that, get the hard tyres on if you start on the mediums or the softs, and you can go to the end easily. I think it's a common misconception that people think you can't go to the end on hard tyres from about lap 8 onwards, when actually you really can. You do struggle a bit at the end, but as long as you're careful on your tyres, you can easily go for that. And if there's one later on in the race, I always find myself thinking, especially after what happened in Germany in Elite last week, it shows that if you pit under the safety car in the last few laps, you do gain a lot of time, as we saw actually yesterday in the Elite race. So in terms of safety cars, if they come out early, I'd stay out, but lap 8 onwards, I'd definitely get in, get them hard tyres on and try and get to the end of the race. As for the end of the race as well, I would definitely get in and get some soft tyres on for a 5-lap shootout towards the end.
Well, and that's, I've got to say, it's this track is very good indeed. You just mentioned about the 97 race, and it brings back some awful memories, to be honest. I was a big old Damon Hill fan. I was a David Cool fan and Damon Hill super fan back then. I got to say, and just remembering that where Villeneuve overtook him literally like on the last lap. Oh, broke my spirit a bit, to be honest. Yeah, I got so that was a brilliant race, wasn't it? 97 was. Thinking about another classic race, 2006 as well, where Button won his maiden race, didn't he? Back in the Honda, I think it was, wasn't it? Back then, that was a great old race. Well, I think Button started 14th or something like that, didn't he? An incredible race indeed. 2006, and that was I love this stat. That was the first time it rained on race day in the Hungarian Grand Prix for 20 years, wasn't it? I love that stat. It was an amazing start as well. Quickly going to the comment section. We've also got Broke Gorilla saying good evening. Good evening, Broke. Hope you're well today. Of course, he's had some issues with his invites and all that kind of stuff. A bit too technical for my liking. I just turn it off and back on. But Broke Gorilla's got that all sorted, and away he is. So he's in the Grand Prix tonight, and it's great to see him. So hopefully he can get some good points for the Haas team. We have also got Toon saying going eventually. But I think that's the beauty about league racing, isn't it? The fact is that we have races almost every week, don't we? So unlike the F1 drivers who some have a long-term break after the Hungarian Grand Prix or German Grand Prix, depending on the season. They had to wait 3 or 4 weeks, didn't they? But that's the great stuff about league racing. You're on it straight away. Brown is on it straight away as well. Unfortunately, his teammate PB joined too late, so we got 19 cars in this qualifying session. 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th is going to be the places where we're going to unfortunately lose those guys. Roscoe's just said, "Good evening, lads." Good evening, Roscoe. Hope you are on this fine Thursday afternoon. And as you flicking through turn 3. We had some controversy last night in turn 3, didn't we? It was Slim and Brown's validated this time around the fast turn 4 there, so that's not good at all. We had some controversy last night, didn't we? Oh, and he's also off the... Oh, dear.
Was in the wall.
Oh, my gosh, I thought that was very good how he kept out the barrier there. My goodness me, that would definitely have woken me up.
I was just about to say, into turn 5, which is the one straight after the quick left-hander, if you touch that curb on the inside, you are going to spin. It almost happened to me in the race yesterday, and I was going to mention that, and he actually proved my point rather brilliantly there, because if you touch that curb, it just unsettles the car no matter how much downforce you're on, and you will spin. One person I do want to look at actually this qualifying session is T. Sammy. If we don't forget from last week in Germany, the championship leader, runaway championship leader, really struggled at Hockenheim for reasons that we're not entirely sure why. But thankfully for him, because of the lack of penalties that he had and the safety cars towards the end, he still gained crucial points in his championship charge. He's got a yellow flag into sector 3, that's just people slowing down. But yeah, I want to see if T. Sammy actually gets back on the pace as Sprint goes in a 1:18.4 on the softs. But yeah, he's the man I'd look out for, T. Sammy.
Yeah, indeed. He's been the benchmark of the season this season, T. Sammy. As of course, he was in the New Life. It's retired from the session there, so I think this would be New Life. So he hasn't had many Grand Prix in the Super League. I'm trying to remember when I think it might be his debut tonight. I'll have a look at my old stat book in a minute. Bro Gorilla has gone third fast on the hard tires then, so I wonder if Bro Gorilla is probably trying to get his eye in, do you think, Patrick, or is he, or do you think he's just trying to, do you think he's trying to get his eye in here with the hard tires, or what's his thinking behind this?
I mean, as Timmy actually goes first with 17, which is a fantastic time for this early stage of qualifying. I'm not entirely sure, because of course we have got 3 stages of qualifying. Anybody who doesn't know how this works, the top 15 go through into Q2, and then the top 10 go through into Q3 for the shootout. And if you do go through into that shootout, you take the tyres that are used in Q2 into the race start with you. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Gorilla's gone on the hards, because for this session, you just want to get them softs on, get a feel for the track, and get out there. But maybe he is doing exactly what you're saying, just feeling the track. Of course, he's not been here for a while, so he wants to get as much practice as possible. So this might work in his favour. Who knows? He might come in at the end, get some soft tyres on, and get a quick lap in. But for the moment, it looks like he's just plonking around on his hard tyres, trying to get a feel for the track. So yeah, if I was him, I'd probably be doing the same, with the fact that he's obviously not had a lot of experience recently. So yeah, I don't blame him, to be fair, on them hard tyres.
And just talk me through if you haven't raced for a while then. So race rest, is that an actual thing? Is it? So it's not just some excuse some drivers like make up and like, oh, I just had a bit of race rest because I haven't raced for such a long time. Is that an actual thing then? You're saying?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it depends on how much practice you put in, to be fair. When I came back to league racing, which was about a month ago, and I turned the wheel for the first time on F1, as we got a yellow flag in sector 1. It's just people slowing down again, I think. Yeah, I struggled a lot in practice. It's when you have to really put a lot of time in to get everything the way you want it. You know, your camera settings, the right setups to suit your driving style, everything along those lines. It's just everything builds together to make the perfect lap and the perfect race for you. So yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion anyway, maybe it's just me, but yeah, there's definitely race rust in my opinion. It definitely was for me anyway, so I would not be surprised if Gorilla is experiencing that as well.
That's interesting stuff. T. Sammy has just come out on track at the moment. He's just come through sector 1 then. He's done a 27.8 there, but he's gone wide, and it's very brutal, the track limits around here, isn't it, Patrick? My goodness me, he just ran a bit wide there. To a layman like myself, I would have thought that he would have lost time there, but according to the game there, he went off track there, and he's validated his time then. How difficult is it to keep the penalties down around here? Because we was talking about how tight and twisty it is, but you wouldn't think you would gain so much time, but how difficult is it just to keep those penalties down?
Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, turn 4 is that corner. It's the corner where everybody gets at least one invalidation in qualifying. It's completely natural, I think, for people to do that. I mean, they're testing the limits of the track, testing the grip that they've got so far, so it's completely unsurprising to me. But then actually going through the middle chicane, just after turn 4, actually, in turn 5, you can get a lot of time on the second curve just by clipping it on the inside, and that way you actually cut the corner ever so slightly, but you don't get any validation. And then going through the quick left and right hander, you can go really wide on those corners and you will not get any validation, and you will gain a lot of time. So there's a lot of time to be gained here in these track limits, but at the same time, if you go ever so slightly wide in turn 4, that's it, your lap's over. So you need to make sure that you get that right, and then you can gain the rest of the time in the end of the lap.
I got to say that as we're just coming up to that chicane now, that Mickey Mouse chicane, isn't it? It's very, I find that chicane very, very annoying at sometimes. It's very frustrating corner. That chicane has been. I've ever since I started playing Formula 1 games, even way back when on the PlayStation 1, it was quite a annoying chicane. But luckily on the PlayStation 1 though, you didn't get any track invalidation or anything like that there, so it was more free roam really. But unfortunately, you can't get with that these days, which is why I'm a terrible racer. Here comes Maxi then. He's coming up to the line now. He is just coming into turn 14 now. A very long, never-ending right-hander then to finish off the lap then. 2 DRS zones around here. I wouldn't say it says Maxi goes fast there. A 16.797. Good time now from Maxi there. Right off the blocks there. Good stuff indeed then from Maxi. 2 DRS zones around here, Patrick. One on the start-finish straight, and of course one in between turn 1 and 2 there. I would say that it's not really, don't really gain much time around here. Is it very powerful around here, or not that much?
No, not at all. To be honest, the main thing you want DRS for at this track especially is if you're tucked in behind another car, you want to use that slipstream to save your ERS and save your fuel. So if you've got that DRS, you open it up, put your ERS down, put your fuel down, you don't actually lose any straight line speed. You'll keep gaining straight line speed on the people ahead. There's another yellow flag in sector 3, just somebody slowing down for the start of their lap. But yeah, using the DRS around this track is mainly just to save your car, save the tyres, save the fuel and the ERS, and then you can put another proper dive into turn 1 one maybe when you've got all those and the DRS on the next lap possibly. That's the way I use it personally anyway, and I think that is probably the best way to do that. As we've got another yellow flag in sector 2, that's Maxi going off just to try and select the Williams through. But yeah, I'm actually riding on board with Maxi now, and this corner especially, the right hander, if you run wide from here, you can very, very much gain a lot of time, and that is where you want to be and where you want to kind of make the track limits what you want them to be. But actually, I think Maxi, to be honest with that time of 16.7, that is a very, very, very good time for this part of qualifying. So I would actually say he is probably up there for pole position at the end of this, because a 16.7 is a fantastic time for an elite race or a super race. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Maxi was up there getting pole position.
A lot of people don't really question Maxi's speed. He's absolutely incredible, isn't he? And I think that Patrick, you've underlined that just a minute ago with how incredible his 16.7 is. But unfortunately, there has been moments where it's just lapse of concentration, perhaps also some consistency in there, issues in there as well for Maxi. But yeah, his speed is he's had flashes of speed as well. Remember, he was an elite last year as well. And I think that if he had a bit more consistency, perhaps he would have been more of a midfield runner, definitely. Here comes Penny coming through the final turn. Look at him as he plays with the throttle then before accelerating now. Turn 49, yellow flag is there. That's a racing point who's going.
Oh, yes, racing point off.
Oh dear, and it's Steve there, and that's on his outlap as well. Do you think it's a tyre warm-up issue? So I know you were talking about the curb there earlier, but that's on his outlap. He surely wasn't pushing there, was he? Is it a tyre warm-up issue there, or is it just lack of concentration?
There is a problem with tyre warming, yeah, definitely. There's a problem with tyre warming, but I think what he's done there is, to be honest, I think he might have been trying to warm his tyres up, ever so slightly touch that curb on the inside, and even on an outlap, you can spin there, so I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, Steve, being the winner from last week in Hockenheim, absolutely dominant victory last week for Steve, so he's going to hope to repeat that this race. And going around with Steve, hopefully for him, he's going to... Oh, as Max puts another 16.5. Fabulous lap from Maxi. I mean, he's just on fire at the moment. He's obviously been doing his practice, but as Steve comes around the final corner on his outlap, let's ride on board and take a lap of the Hungaroring here in at the racing point. So he's going to open DRS going into the main straight. Personally, I keep this in 7th gear. We've got a yellow flag in set 2. People just let people through again, but I keep it in 7th gear. So he's going to do the same thing as we've got a Toro Rosso coming out of the pits. He's going to get out of the way. Yes, he does, of Roscoe. Oh, but it's going to be... Oh, he's lost a bit of time there because Roscoe's kind of got in his way, but thankfully for Steve, he's still able to get that. I'd say in 6th gear here and then plough it into the left-hander here. Try and hook the curb on the inside, but then get on the throttle as early as possible so you gain as much time as possible going up the hill. Here I'd put down to 4th ERS and then 3 going into the left hand. This is the crucial corner. Chuck it in, clip the curb. Don't go too wide. He's done that perfectly. This corner here, you don't want to touch the curb on the inside, otherwise the car's going to unsettle. And then run it wide to the left-hand curb and throw it into the chicane. Right, left. You want to cut the curb on the left-hand side as much as possible. Is he going to do that? He's lost a bit of time there because he didn't do that. But keep it in 4th gear for this left-hander. He stays in 5th. Lost a bit of time there. Going this right-hander here, you can run it wide like he has done. That's perfect line from him, and then throw it down into these left-handers and right-handers. This corner is perfect in the race because you can use that to your advantage to gain time with people ahead. Purple middle sector going into the final chicane now. It's a right-hander, but look at that, he's run ever so slightly wide onto the curb. He hasn't lost too much time there. This is the crucial corner for the last sector though, trying to keep it nice and tight to the apex and then run it ever so slightly wide, go up into 4th gear, maybe 5th, and then chuck it into the final corner, run it ever so slightly wide, and then floor the gas onto the line, DRS, and see what you can do. And for Steve going across the line now, it looks like it's going to be a 17.3 for Steve. Not too bad. P4. He'll be happy with that at this time. Especially with, of course, Roscoe unfortunately getting in his way into turn 1. Of course, that wasn't on purpose. I don't think he was coming out of the pits. But yeah, good luck from Steve.
That was an absolutely incredibly described lap there. I was just getting goosebumps just listening to you. That was absolutely fantastic stuff. Just before we talk about that lap more, I think JJ is unfortunately met his end there in Q1. I think he's gone into the wall. Just coming out of that Mickey Mouse chicane there in turn 6 and 7 now. So that's unfortunate there for JJ. What a shame there for the McLaren driver. We're on board with his teammate. He's just gone into a 16. Just about into a 16. So by almost a thousandth of a second there. Good stuff there from both Matt and Timmy in the 16s. Good stuff indeed there. 9 thousandths of a second separates the two drivers. Good stuff indeed then. But that was an absolutely fantastic, that was a fantastic on-board experience there with Steve there. And of course Patrick voicing over that incredible lap there from Steve there. That was a brilliant driver coach, and that is absolute fineness there. Good stuff indeed then. Coming into like just under 5 minutes to go in this session there is Grant, who's just said hello, and he's loving the coverage there. We have also got Roscoe coming down into turn 12 now, then car 84. Both Toro Rossos are in the drop zone at the moment. T Savage is coming out now, but Roscoe is usually a man who's not really keen on doing many laps out in Q1. He's a very confident man, isn't he? My goodness me. There's a lot of drivers have been out here since the green light, but Roscoe has left it very late. He's gone into fourth position mode, just displaced Steve, who has dropped down into fifth. Very nip and tuck at the moment there, isn't it? I'm loving this. Really good 17 hogs on a lap at the moment. Then he has run out of deployment there, isn't he? As when Patrick was describing that lap with Steve, he was talking about how the Earth was how he was going up and going down on the Earth there. So that's really interesting stuff indeed there. I got a question for you, Patrick. Then in terms of the ERS usage, then I would myself I figured hot lap, throw it up into hot lap, and thinking that would be the quickest way to go around that. Is that not how to do that? Is that not how to race around here?
No, unfortunately not. If it was, it'd be a lot easier. But no, unfortunately not. Basically, if you run it in hot lap or overtake for the entire lap, you actually run out of deployment probably at the start of Sector 3. So you've lost all of Sector 3 with no ERS, which is going to leave you so much time. One thing that people don't know also is if you run in overtake ERS, you gain a lot more top speed at the end of straights. Hot lap is more for acceleration out of the corners. So what I do is Snaps retired from the session in P11. He's safe and happy from at the moment. But yeah, what I do is I put it into hot lap for the start of the lap, put it into overtake, down into turn 1, then into hot lap all the way up to turn 4, and then that's where the part when I would put it into 3, into high. That way you gain a little more traction as there's a yellow flag. Oh, actually, who was that? Yeah, it was Gorilla going wide. He's managed to stay on the track though, thankfully for him, not into the barriers. But yeah, personally, I'd keep it in 3 in the high ERS mode, then up until the start of Sector 3, and then back up into hot lap for the rest of the lap. That way you stay with the ERS for the entire lap, and you keep the traction down and perfect for your car.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. T Sammy at the moment is kind of up against it now. I know we've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. His Toon's also retired from the session as well, but he's invalidated his lap coming out of turn 4 there. Of course, the very quick left-hander there. So T Sammy's going to have to really pull his socks up, so to speak. We're on board with the championship leader now. Remember, as Patrick said in Germany just over a week ago, he was off the pace, wasn't he? But of course, he did have, in the end, he still had a very good finish there, didn't he? I think he finished second in the end, didn't he? With the lack of penalties, it was good stuff there from T Sammy. They really kept it all calm, and it's very difficult to do actually if you're a racing driver. I got to say, half the reason why I'm called Ginger Rage is because I rage a lot. So which kind of goes without saying, really, doesn't it? Wow, look at that as he flies through turn 3. That was an amazing corner there. That was a great camera shot. I love that. Oh, he's had a bit of oversteer there. He's invalidated this time. He's got a minute to go, a minute and a half to go around here. T Sammy's got one more run. He's got one more chance there to nail this lap. Oh dear, this is not good at all for the championship leader. This is not the added stress you wanted. At the moment, New Life is 19th, JJ's 18th, T Sammy 17th, Brown is in 16th position at the moment. He's on a lap as it stands at the moment, the Williams there. But Patrick, this is not good for the championship leader, is it? He's had 3 attempts now and he's invalidated all of them.
Not good at all, especially around this track, which is incredibly hard to overtake. This is not Hockenheim. You cannot overtake easily around this track. And as we've seen, as he goes around the final few sections, he's actually put his ERS into 0, so he knows he needs as much ERS as possible going into this final lap. Let's see then, he goes around the final corner to start his lap. This is the only opportunity he's going to have, 50 seconds left in the session.
Oh, it's all or nothing now for T Sammy, isn't it? My goodness me, it's Sir Alex Ferguson say it's squeaky bum time, isn't it? Here comes Brown coming to the line as well. He's in the 17th. He's gone up to 8 fastest. Good stuff there from Brown there. Is that track evolution or is that Brown evolution? Well, Penny's got up to 13. Fantastic stuff for Penny in the Mercedes. Good stuff indeed there. Here comes Double. 5 turns a second up. Unfortunately, we missed Double last. 5 turns a second down. We missed Double. Oh, he's invalidated again. Oh my goodness me. Oh,
no way.
T Sammy.
Championship leader's out.
That is an absolute shocker of a qualifying session there for T Sammy. My goodness me then. And T Sammy then, I bet he's going to be furious with himself. And as you said there, Patrick, he's just done the Hamilton line there from 2015. He is going to be absolutely furious with himself, isn't he? He is out of qualifying and it is not Hockenheim, is it? And so, of course, there's a long back straight in Hockenheim. Around here, there's only probably 1 or 2 obvious overtaking maneuvers, overtaking opportunities. And even that's going to be limited, isn't it? Patrick said that the DRS is not powerful around here. Double is also out of qualifying, so he's come in the pits and he's called it a day, unfortunately. And Double will be starting at 16th in this qualifying session. Double making a return after a week out, so it's great to see Double back on the grid, and I hope he's doing well in these tough times. So great to see Double on there, fantastic stuff indeed. But T Sammy out of qualifying. Patrick, what's gone wrong there for T Sammy? Is he left it late, or is it just put too much pressure on himself? What's going on there?
He will absolutely be kicking himself. He knows he's got the pace to be in the top 10, top 5, probably even fighting for pole position at every track this season. He's going to be absolutely kicking himself. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't even the place where you'd usually invalidate your lap. It was the exit of turn 3. If you have a tight line going into there, it's very easy to do that. But he set himself up wrong from the exit of turn 2 that way. He just got the exit completely wrong and he ran wide and got invalidated. He was probably focusing so much on not invalidating at turn 4 that he just ran wide and didn't even think about it. And oh, he's going to be so annoyed with himself. The problem is now as well, starting in P17, I mean, he's going to have to start on hards or mediums, definitely not softs, otherwise that'll just be a waste of a race. But then you've got to get through the field without making any contact, which is so hard around this track. So, T Sammy out, it's going to be a hard race for him.
That is a huge shock, isn't it? I wasn't expecting that when we came on air tonight, but that is the beauty about live sport, isn't it? That anything can happen, especially in Formula 1, and it usually does. It's absolutely brilliant stuff, isn't it? Unfortunately, we lost New Life there, who didn't set a time. We lost JJ as well. He went into the hedge, unfortunately, out of turn 7. We also lost T Sammy, the championship leader. The fastest time he did was on the hard tyres, wasn't it? So that was absolutely shocking there. And also, we've lost Double as well out of qualifying. And we're going through to the next qualifying sessions where strategy really becomes a key note, doesn't it? And it's going to be interesting to see if any of these guys actually well, of course, if any of these guys have watched last night's elite race, and if anyone is going to go down a similar road. I gotta say, sometimes though with the elite races, I remember I used to watch the elite races and I always try and copy the strategy, and it never worked for me because I used to tune my tires up, or on the tires I'm not very good. So I'm not sure how worth it is to commentate to copy on the guys that have done a race last night. But we're now into qualifying 2. Then we're 10 seconds into qualifying 2. Then this session, then we're aiming to lose 11th to 15th. Then, and look at them all. They're changing their tires there. So it's going to be interesting to see what strategy they're going to go on. But what would you do, Patrick? I know that you definitely, I know about the strategy you did last night. But what would you do if you was on this day in history? Would you go with the same thing, or is it just about the feeling of the car?
I mean, if it's a dry race, you have to start on mediums around this track. You have to. Otherwise, if you start on softs, it's a struggle to even get past lap 5. I mean, it depends on how you drive. If you're towards the front, though, and you're at the front end pace, you're going to be shredding through those tyres instantly. So, mediums are the way to go. But of course, Q2, you don't know if you're going to get through to Q3 unless you go on the softs. So it's going to be that thing. It's going to be at the cusp. I feel like people like Maxi and people like Timmy, they should be fine going through on mediums. But everyone else, it might actually be a struggle for them. So it'll be very exciting to see what they do to get through to Q3. A few people on hards in the pit lane that actually sprint on the hards.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Patrick.
It's alright, we've got to snap off, yeah.
The infamous turn 5 there is becoming a. I got to be honest. When we go on air, we usually think about what corner is going to cause the most problems. I thought it was going to be turn 4, to be honest, but it seems like turn 5 is causing all kinds of issues there for these drivers out here tonight.
It's that curb. That curb is absolutely treacherous. You have to treat it like your grandmother. You know, you got to hug her, but not too much, because that way it's going to get you and bite you back. So. Make sure you hug it, but not too much. Don't get on the actual curb, and that way you'll get around the corner as quick as possible. But Snap actually taking down a board there as he goes through, but yeah, he's back on track. He should be fine. Obviously just made a mistake by accident. Who's going around the final corner first? It looks like one of the Mercedes. Is it Steve Penny? No, it is not. It is Sprint on his outlap. Yeah, he's going to start his lap now on the hards. A very interesting strategy from Sprint. He must think that he's got a lot of pace in that Mercedes car to be able to get through to Q3 on the hard tyres. Let's see how his lap goes going through into turn 1. The hard tyres are incredibly hard to wall around this track, but he's opened everything fine so far. It looks good to me going into turn 2. Let's see where he goes. Is he going to keep it nice and tight to the apex? No, he actually runs it ever so slightly wide. That's it's a different in drivers' opinions. You can do that at that corner. But he's got a good exit going up into turn 4 now. Hopefully, for his sake, he doesn't invalidate, because of course that is the one thing you don't want to do. He goes purple sector 1. That is a perfect line through there. And looking at this turn 5 now, he's going to hook the curb. No, he runs ever so slightly wide. That's Probably lost him a bit of time there in the start of the second sector, but let's have a look now going through the chicane. Is he going to clonk over that curb? Yes, he does, ever so slightly. He could use that a bit more, actually, to gain a bit more time there. As we go through the twisty sections now, the Monaco without the barriers. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 as well. Looks like one of the Williams is off, actually have to go away from him at the moment. Is it Brown? Yes, it is. Brown at turn 5 as well. I think he must have done the same thing, clipping the curb, but going back to sprint. Let's see what his time's going to be. We go through the final section of the lap. This is the corner where you don't want to lock up or you're going to lose a lot of time. Hug the inside curve, which he is doing. Fantastic from him. And to be fair, for a hard lap, this is actually not too bad at all. As we go around the final corner, he hugs the inside, plant the throttle, open the DRS, go for the line. Let's see what time is. 18.9, not too bad from sprint, but I would not be surprised at all if the medium runners, as I do say that, Matt behind on the mediums, does go quite a lot faster, and Asdog as well on the mediums a lot faster as well. So yes, I feel like sprint's probably got the wrong strategy there, to be honest, the wrong strategy on the hard tyres. I would go for the mediums, but let's see on this day in history how it goes. Fisco goes second with an 18.2, and Timmy as well on the mediums, 17.8, so yeah, the time's coming down.
I've got to say, this is looking very competitive, isn't it? I'm really rubbing my hands with glee here. Fizzy doing a 18.2 on the soft tyres there. I have a feeling that he might slow down somewhere around that lap, but as tunes are validated, Tom's going to have to go around again. So I'm thinking that Fizzy might be trying to tease someone into maybe going onto the soft tyres. Maybe one of his rivals, as we're just watching Hog there, is he's coming into turn 12 now. Hog there has got the NHS-inspired helmet from last week, so hats off to Hog there, doing a good job there in the Ferrari car 12 as well as he comes out of turn 13. Then just coming into the which well, you can see that sometimes there that can catch out where whether you're going to come into the pits or not. Going around the final turn then, and Hog there has done a 19 there, and he is the slowest of the runners so far then. If Toon is also invalidated his time once again then, so that's 2 invalidations in a row for Toon. He's on the hard tyres as well. Look at Harry there, my goodness me, that was a lot of understeer on that Renault there. That car just kept drifting wider and wider, didn't it, as he goes over the Mickey Mouse chicane there, on board there with the Renault driver as well. Harry in the last couple of races really stepped up his game, hasn't he? Since Monaco onwards, he has scored in every single race. Harry has very good stuff indeed there from the Renault driver. His teammate Snap, can he get off the mark this weekend, or shall I say this week, and get some points on the board then? Snap, remember last season in season 6, had an absolutely fantastic season. He had some incredible drives, didn't he? A couple of 4th positions and 5th positions as well. It was brilliant stuff. This season Snap has kind of been in and out of the car, hasn't he? So hopefully Snap can now get his head down for the second half of the season and get some good points. And Harry is actually behind his team at the moment by 10th for a second then, and but he is in 6th position at the moment, which is the magical number is to be 10th or higher, as we got yellow flags in one. Oh, it's just Harry's for Renault there, just backing off the pace at the moment then. Just under 10 minutes to go then, we've got Toon saying big shocker to see CT Sammy go. That's an incredible shocker, isn't it? My goodness me, I'm struggling to get out of my mind. My goodness me. Of course, T Sammy's only had 2 pole positions this season, hasn't he? But he's still been in ever present in Q3 for more or less all the qualifying sessions he's participated in. So that is a huge shock there, and I'm wondering who's going to be able to take this opportunity. Of course, there is still 98 point advantage at the moment, isn't it? That's quite a huge, a mammoth number of points there, isn't it? It's almost 4 wins, isn't it? Sprint now is going for another lap. He's done 3 laps on these hard tyres then, and well, it looks like he's on an in-lap here because he hasn't actually turned the car off 1 iota then, so he's just going around again then. Harry's also coming in the pits as well then. Maxi's on the lap then, so let's see what Maxi can do then. And I love the helmet of Maxi there, a bit of yellow, a bit of blue and a bit of green there. It reminds me of an Australian helmet, to be honest. I'm loving that. Yellow flag, so that's a Mercedes. I just got off the track there, that's a sprint there. My goodness me, that made me jump out of my socks out, didn't it? Maxi there just coming through turn 4 as well. Before this it's very difficult turn 5, cars are spinning off there, aren't they? Very difficult indeed then. And you can see then a lovely sunny afternoon here in Budapest. It's a lovely day out here today, isn't it? And of course it's also a lovely day outside. It feels a bit like I think it's the first day of spring, wasn't it, a couple of days ago? So no, a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Maxi there, oh my goodness me there, and I thought he was a goner there, but good car control there from Maxi there coming out of turn 11. The back end was stepping out, a lot of oversteer there. I thought it was a bit like rallycross there, wasn't it? But before coming into turn 13 as well. He's on the medium tires as well then. So all the top runners, just as Patrick said, are going on the medium compound tires then. It's the sensible option by the looks of things, isn't it? And he is coming up to the line then as well. And Maxi goes into second fast moment. Timmy is showing some impressive speed tonight. Really good stuff indeed as we go into the second half of Q2 now then. Patrick, who do you think is on the cusp then of Q2? Who do you think is in danger at this for the end of the session?
I mean, so we've got Steve hasn't put a lap in yet. As of Maxi and Timmy separated by just under 200 of a second. Multiple prospects going to Q3. But as I'd say, got Roscoe and Steve put his hands, of course. Still, them two will be looking to go top 5 or so. So I think Gorilla is going to be struggling. There's some he's put another lap in to get to Q3 on some ground as well on those mediums. If he wants to get through, more than likely on a set of soft tyres to get through into Q3. That's the problem. Of course, get into Q3, you sat on the tyre that you set your fastest lap in Q2 on. So it's going to be a hard decision for the people to look outside. They want to get Gorilla into Q3 or set themselves up for a race. So I feel like Hog, Gorilla, and Brown, those are the people to look out for to see if they can improve their times.
And we got a racing point who's up. That's Steve again who's off the track. And oh my goodness me, that is causing all kinds of problems out here at the moment there, isn't it? From Steve as he's just reset himself back to track and away he goes. And Roscoe has just gone fastest on the Toro Rosso then and at 17.7.
Oh, Steve lost off again. What's going on for the lap? He's winner. Incredible.
He's having real troubles out there at the moment, isn't he, Steve, at the moment? He's he's off the track at the moment. Then we've got Roscoe, who has just gone fast at the moment. Then we've got some yellow flags out there, which I think it was for Steve then. Toon is back on track now. He's on the medium compound tyres, and he is just flicking it through turn 3 as well before coming up to 4 and 5. Yellow flags is actually in that sector again, and it is for Penny, I think, in the Mercedes, and he's just recovering at the moment then. He's coming up to the chicane now. Toon is then, and as you can see then, so he's on the he's got a new helmet there too. Now I got going onto the grass there. My goodness me, ran over my hair there. I gave me a good old trim, didn't it, on the old bush? As he's gone wide there as well. There's a bit of a scrappy middle sector here from Toon at the moment, but let's see what he can do there as he comes into the out of turn 12. I'm surprised that corner didn't invalidate himself there because he was well out there. I gotta say he was. I thought he was in a different country. He was so wide out there. That was quite surprising then. But he's coming up to the final corner now then. Let's see what he could do then. Toon is on the medium compound tires. He's been on the hard. Now he's on the mediums then. And away he goes then. 16, 17. He's in the 18s then. And away he goes then. As we've got... I'm hoping that... I think Patrick's left me. Has he had enough of my voice already? I hope not. I'm hoping that I'm hoping Patrick will come in a minute because that's a disappointment. Hopefully Patrick will be in a minute. I'll just keep a look. I'll keep an eye out to see what Patrick what's going on, and then we'll be back. Hopefully we'll be back with him in just a few moments. Whilst Patrick is coming back out, we got Lucas saying good evening. Yes, good evening, Lucas. Hope you're well here tonight. Steve is joined and he's back in the session then, and away he goes. Then we got Patrick back in the.
Some serious apologies. Had some connection issues.
Oh, that's okay then. I thought you had enough of my voice to be honest. Which I'll be like, you lasted longer than the last one, so yeah. But so Patrick is back in the session now. It's absolutely good stuff indeed. Then, and hopefully we got 4 minutes to go then. So he has come back in when we need him most because it's going to get very juicy, isn't it? In the next couple of minutes, and Penny is just getting himself sorted out at the moment, and just on he's on a it looks like he's on a lap, but he's into full beans mode, isn't he, at the moment? It's Double has left the session as well. I'm not sure what's going on with the connections at the moment. We lost Steve, we lost Patrick all over the place. My goodness me. And we'll be off. It's left the let's left the chat again then. I'm not sure what's going on here. Hopefully we'll get it all resolved in just a few moments then, and we'll be back and cooking again, hopefully, as we've got Hog then, who's just coming out to turn 4 as well then, and he is very much, he's 4 tenths a second down. Hog is, he has only got 3 minutes to get himself out there, hasn't he, as we're just on board with Penny as well, as he's coming through turn 2, I think it is actually, now flicking through turn 3. Remember Slim and Slim and Yor had a big old had some issues there in turn number 3 last night. Oh, Penny's gone off! Penny's in the wall! Oh, that's a horrible smash there.
That's a way to rejoin the party chat. I do apologise for leaving everybody, but that was a tremendous crash from Penny.
It was.
Oh dear! Look, he clipped the curb on the inside actually. As I just joined back in the session, and when you clip that curb on the inside and don't clip it the perfect way, that is exactly what's going to happen. And unfortunately for Penny, he's out.
It's such a shame for Penny. It really is there. And how easy is that to do then, Patrick? Then because we have seen some drivers usually crash on the inside in there before. So is it a fairly easy thing to do?
It's very easy. I mean, if you get the corner right at turn 4, then your car feels absolutely beautiful, feels planted. But if you don't clip the curb at the right place, if you do it a bit too slightly wide, that's exactly what's going to happen. If you do it too much on the inside, you go to the inside and crash there. If you go too much to the outside, that's exactly what happens. You have to cut it the perfect amount. Otherwise, that is exactly what's going to happen. As we see Steve as well, actually. He's not set a lap yet, of course. He's had a few spins at turn 5, going through to turn 1 now on the mediums. It's going to be probably his only lap, because he's not going to have a lot of ERS deployment after this. See the DRS of that racing point opening up as he goes into turn 2 now. Hopefully, for his sake, he's going to be able to get the perfect line through here, and he does do from that, a perfect line from him as he goes through now into turn 3, up into turn 4. This is the one he doesn't want to invalidate here, otherwise his lap's going to be over. Let's see how he does. Goes through a bit wide there, but he's done it perfectly. He's almost lost it. He's going to have to keep going though. He's going to have to keep going because he's not going to have a lot of time or ERS to be able to get around this lap and have another lap. So we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's just someone slowing down. But looking at Steve once again, he's going to have to get this lap, and he's going to have to get it perfect for the rest of it. Otherwise, he's going to have lost too much time in that turn 4 shenanigans to get through into Q3. Let's see as he goes through the quick left-hander now. Throw it into the right-hander. You can run it wide from here as Snap retires from the session. He's happy with that 11th place on the grid. Steve not setting any purple sectors or anything like that, so it looks like he's struggling here in the racing point. Runs it ever so slightly wide into the last 2 corners now. These are the ones where you can't lose the time. Keep it nice and tucked in on the inside. He does that. It's looking good for Steve so far, but that time lost in turn 4 is going to be a problem, as we see Matt on a 17.1. Fantastic time on the soft tyres at this stage of qualifying. Open the DRS now for Steve. Let's see if he's going to be able to get into the top 10. He does, only just though, P7. But we see Fizzy's in the pits, and Toonfan, of course, is retired from the session as well. So hopefully for Steve, that is enough to get through into Q3.
I got to say, Waffle was going to have another big scalp there, wasn't we? Unfortunately, we lost Snap, and we've also lost Penny with a big old smash in turn 4. Here comes Sprint coming around the final turn as well. He's on the medium compound tyres. Matt going on to the software. I want to speak to Patrick about that in a minute, if we can. Then Steve's dropped down to 8th. Then Sprint is just gone up to 7th position. Harry's on that lap at the moment. Brown is in the pits then, so Brown is called it a day. Hogg is also on track as well, so it's between Harry and Hogg then. So who is going to get through then? Toon is on the cusp then. This is going to be very tasty indeed then, isn't it? Can Toon sneak through then? Harry's come through the follow turn as well then. So Matt going on to the soft tyres, Patrick, is do you think that that's going to be a mistake by him in the race, or do you just feel that, as the session is finished now, but do you feel that that is a strategy call then from Matt then? Because he was in Q3 quite comfortably, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say he was in Q3 comfortably, so he must think that having the soft tyres, especially at the start of the race, of course you will have a lot more traction off the line with those soft tyres instead of the mediums. He's going to hopefully, for his sake, get pole position, pull away. I'm sure that's the game plan that he's got, but the soft tyres are very hard to maintain around this track, but for his sake, let's hope it works. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Doesn't look too... Oh, it's Hogg again going wide, but he's not going to, hopefully not getting in the way of the Renault. No, he doesn't, thankfully, of Harry. I mean, he's going to have to make sure he gets this lap absolutely perfect now on the soft tyres. I mean, it looks good enough at the moment, but who knows? We go through the final part of this lap now. He's keeping it nice and smooth on those soft tyres as well, but it wasn't a good lap from him, so let's see how he can do in that Renault, going round the right-hander. Doesn't run it too wide, so he's going to go into this final sector now, knowing that he can keep this time up and get into Q3. So let's have a look now, running wide ever so slightly, but thankfully his wheels don't go on the grass, otherwise he'd have lost a lot of traction there and lost a lot of time. He's keeping it nice and slow. He's keeping all the traction he can going through the final 2 corners. Keep it nice and wide to the left, throw it into the final corner, keep it nice and tight to the inside. The session's over, let's see what he does.
And
it's not enough. Just by over 1/10 of a second, he has not got through into Q3, and Toonfan is going to be very, very happy with that.
Blimey, I think he might have gotten by a lottery ticket, hadn't he? My goodness me, that was very nip and tuck there, wasn't it? Look, 700 of a second separates Harry and Toonfan. They're very close indeed. Toon has said Q3 for the day. Oh, Renault, 6th road out. That's going to be good, isn't it? Snap and Harry. We've also got Brown in the 13th position, Hogg in 14th, and Penny, who had a smash then in 15th position then. As we're going to go into Q3 now, so this is going to be very good indeed then. Of course, I'm really looking forward to this, actually. Who is going to get pole position here tonight. And of course, remember with T Sammy there, who is unfortunately out of Q1, it's definitely going to be a very entertaining race. I'm looking forward to this one. It's a Toon has just said, I was sweating at the end of that session. My goodness me, so was we in the commentary box there, because I've generally thought that you might have been knocked out there with Harry's pace for sure. Maybe even Hog could have snuck in there as well. Unfortunately, we've lost, just to confirm, we've lost Penny, we've lost Hog, Brown, Snap, and Harry there. On the soft tire, it said, is Matt, is Broke, and is Fizzy. So that's going to be an interesting thing, because they're going to have a start line advantage going off the grid there. Track position, I would say, is quite king around here, isn't it? Of course, it's a very difficult track to overtake on, but I'm not sure. Patrick was saying that it's better to have the strategy options to go on the medium tires there. So it's very interesting how some drivers have gone one way and other drivers have gone the other way. It's really good stuff indeed there. And we've also got come on Max as well, as we've got some great fans in the old comment section as well. We love your opinions. We'll also love your predictions as well. I sit on the fence for predictions because every time I predict anything, it goes completely the wrong way. But Patrick, who do you think is the man for pole position? Who's got the momentum so far?
Ooh, what a question. I mean, personally, I would say from the first two sessions that I've seen, I'd go for Maxi. Maxi in that Red Bull, it just looks like he's got a lot of pace. He didn't get the best lap in Q2 to get through into Q3, but he only had one lap around on the mediums. Also, you can actually get, as we look, see the Ferrari of Toon, and I think the McLaren going out of, let's have a look, who is it? Oh, it's not McLaren, excuse me, it's Steve in the Racing Point. Almost called it Force Indy, then I'm a year out. But yeah, I feel like Max is probably going to get pole position. That's my best guess. I was going to say, if you get around this lap quick enough, you can actually squeeze in 3 runs in Q3. Let's see if anyone can do that, if they've got any soft tyres available to them. But yeah, I'm going to go for Maxi. Bold statement, because I'll probably be wrong, but yeah, he's the man I'll go for pole position.
That's why I always ask someone else, because the 9 times out of 10 I am wrong. But of course, Maxi's only had 1 pole position this season, hasn't he? Steve, we're watching now as he has done 4 pole positions. He's had 4 pole positions this season. It's been fantastic stuff. T Sammy had 2, but he's not in this qualifying session. Roscoe and Matt has also had 1 as well. So just watching Steve there, I thought he was going off into a completely different time zone there, wasn't he? As I look back up, but yeah. So the track is fairly busy. Well, we got 6 men out on track. We got 4 men in the pits then, and Steve is just about to go for his lap now then. So this is going to be the quickest part of the event here tonight then. They're going to be light on fuel. They've got fresh tyres, and let's go for a lap around the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're on board Steve then as he comes down into turn 1 then. I was going to say the new turn 1 then, but I am way out. I think I'm about 16 years behind, didn't I? As he comes down into turn 2 as well then. Car 45 then in the Racing Point then. A never-ended left-hander here, isn't it? Of course, that's probably what hurts the soft tyres, isn't it? Isn't it? With just all these long corners there, isn't it? On the lap there, that's probably why the soft tyres don't work so well, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the soft tyres rub off very quickly around this track. It's also quite a lot of traction zones in the middle sector, which also makes the rear tyres go. And of course, the long left-handers, long right-handers, turn 4, turn 12 and 13, they're all just these corners that make the tyres die quickly. Looking at Steve now, it's been a very conservative lap from his end. He's not run too wide, but he's starting to put the throttle down now. He's got another yellow flag at turn 5. Let's have a look who's lost it this time. It's Toon Fan in the Ferrari, but looking at Steve, is he going to be able to get a good lap in? He's gone purple in the sector, of course. He is the first driver out, so he's going to have purple all around this track. He's going to be looking for a low 16, I'll probably say, his pole position here. Today, of course, Maxi did a 16.5, I believe it was, earlier on in Q1. We've got another yellow flag in sector 2. I think the Ferrari's gone off again, but let's keep an eye on Steve going across the line. What laps at times he's going to be able to do? It's a 16.7, fantastic lap from Steve, I must say. Under pressure, first lap of Q3, I think that's a great time from Steve. That's going to take some beating.
That's straight on the box. That's a fantastic time, isn't it? From Steve there. My goodness me. Hats off there to the Racing Point driver. Here comes Timmy. Timmy, of course, who's had a pole position, 1 pole position before in Canada. Well, he's gone pole so far. It's a 10th of a second up there. Whoa, look at that. Oh, that was fitted there to use another track and then some. He is only 3rd fast at the moment. I say only 3rd. That's still a very good time then. Here comes Maxi. He's coming to the line and he is on pole position there. A 10th of a second in front of Timmy. Fantastic stuff. Sprint's on track at the moment. What about Broke Gorilla? Broke Gorilla coming to the line. He he has done 8. He's very close there, very close indeed. Here comes Matt then, as he is starting his lap then, as so that was a bit anticlimactic. Sorry about that, guys. I thought that Matt was just about to finish that on board. We're just watching sprint as he's coming through the very technical, twisty second part of the lap then, isn't he? Coming out of turn 11 as well then. He has gone purple in the second sector. He's done a 54.9 there in the second sector. Good stuff there from car 93 in the Mercedes then. He is coming through turn 13 as well. It's great to see all you guys there starting to tune into the stream then. Really good stuff indeed then, is guys. We're starting to build up for the main event here tonight, which is the race itself, isn't it? 35 laps around this technical sweat box of our track. It's good, isn't it? Sprint goes full fast. Look at these times there. It's incredible, isn't it? Very good pace indeed. Roscoe's just started his lap. Sorry, just staying with Matt at the moment then in the Red Bull then. He's had 3 pole positions so far this season. Can he make it forward then? This is most successful season in terms of pole position. Sorry, I run out of steam now, didn't I? And he's done a 54.9 in the second sector. Similar pace to sprint at the moment, so that will get him around 4th position. But his teammate just getting out of the way there in the second Red Bull then. So Matt then coming through the final, no, not the final corner yet. I'm a corner in front of him. Now he's in the final corner. This is the last corner now. And look at him again there. Another never-ending turn then. Here he comes, and DRS right on the money, and he is full fast at the moment there. And a 17.005 then. Good stuff indeed then. Here comes Roscoe then. He's just finishing off the lap as well then. So Max is on pole position with Tibia alongside him. That's a very good row one, isn't it? Steve and Matt 3rd and 4th. Sprint and Fizzy 5th and 6th. Broke Gorilla 7th. But remember, this qualifying session is far from over. We're going to have another run at least in this qualifying session. It's good, isn't it? And of course, also these guys will have a new set of tyres, won't they? They get a new set of soft tyres for the final part of qualifying. Roscoe goes 6th fast at the moment then, and squeezes in between Sprint and Fizzy in 6th position. And so Azdog's also on track as well then. He has won 2 Grand Prix this season. That's the Azdog has been won in Azerbaijan and in Spain as well. Very impressive very impressive wins they were from Azdog. He's had a very good season so far, and he is 2nd in the championship at the moment and having a really good season, isn't he? As Toon has just said that I nearly had a heart attack at my spin, so close to hitting the wall there. I've got to say,
purple.
Max is purple, is he? We'll come back to Azdog in a minute. So Max is purple. He's a 10th for a second up then on his previous best, but he's coming in the pits. Oh, he's teasing us. He's teasing us, Patrick.
Why would he do that? He was on a fantastic lap. Obviously, he's got fresh tyres though, so he knows he's got time in the pocket. I'm excited to see what lap he can do.
Definitely, and so Max is doing a cracking job there now. I gotta say, I do love a good tease there. So Max is there. I thought he was gonna bang in another one there. Here comes Azdog. He's just about to get his first one in. Toon saying he almost hit the wall there. I gotta say, well done, Toon. I thought he actually hit the wall there. So good stuff indeed there. Now here comes Azdog coming to the line, and he's done a 17.2 there. I'm noticing that a lot of guys are losing out to their DRS, not DRS, their urge towards the end of the laps there, isn't it? So yeah, I think they're being a bit too greedy on the urge there, but it looks, Patrick. That's really cost them in the final stages of the lap there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the last sector is very important to have at least hot lap available to go through in the final 2 corners. That way you can get the perfect acceleration going outside of the last 2 corners. So yeah, people are obviously running in 5 and 4 a bit too much in the first 2 sectors. You really need to put it down into 3 to make sure you get the most out of the IRS system. But obviously, of course, they don't know that at the moment, unfortunately for them. Of course, we do want to see people as well, not really kind of, pushing the limits too much, but I must say the track limits around the chicane in the middle of the lap are being exploited a lot by people, and you can gain a lot of time going through there. The only person I've seen almost do that to the full extent is Matt in the sister Red Bull to the pole position at the moment of Maxi. So I want to see on the final runs if anybody goes through with that. Of course, we've got Toon, who's yet to set time, of course. He's on his outlap at the moment, as is Fizzy as well in the Alfa Romeo. Well, let's see, as Timmy is also on a lap actually as well. I've not been able to see that. Let's have a look what his times are doing as we go through into the middle sector. Let's have a look now, see if he goes around the chicane and uses all the track possible. He goes through it, and he does actually. He uses that to his most extent, which is always good to see. Getting the most out of the car and the track. He's going to run it wide at this corner, which he can gain a lot of time doing that. No, he doesn't. Obviously, he doesn't feel like he's gaining a lot of time doing that. Chucks it into this right-hander now, though. Is he going to be up on his time going through the second sector? Yes, he is. 2/10 off of pole position. Hopefully, it's going to be a good lap for Timmy.
That is a very good second sector, isn't it? As it stands there, a rough guess. I reckon he could pinch it away from Max here at the moment as he comes through turn 13 as well in the McLaren. And his teammate, unfortunately, hasn't seen much of JJ here tonight. Hopefully we'll see more of him in the race then. Around the final corner, once again, he's out deployment there as he comes to the line. But it is pole position, a great time there. Brilliant time. That is an incredible time, isn't it? Wow. As a Toon's about it this time again, and he's really starting to get a lap in the moon. Toon is. We'll come back to him a bit later on. Maxie's coming out then, so we're going to have another round here. This is going to be good, isn't it? It's going to be great stuff from Maxie then, so he's on an out-loud mode. We're just keeping an eye on what Fizzy can do then, as Fizzy's done a 17 at 6 of 1-3 at the moment there. He is the last of the guys that have set a time so far. He's just coming into turn 4 as well, then into the turn 5, the very problematic turn 5 there. And I've got to say, we've got to keep an eye on that in the race, haven't we? Because my goodness me, that might be where the all the action is, isn't it? Fizzy navigating the Mickey Mouse chicane there beautifully well. Broke is gone, and I think he's in the pits actually. Yes, he is in the pits. So Broke Gorilla is 8th position on his IRC return there. Good stuff from Broke Gorilla. Fizzy's car there just didn't want to turn there, did it? He hit too much curb there. It sent him out wide there, and he is up in the second sector. I think it's it flashed up there before it disappeared off in the 13 there as well. And once again, another long left-hander then before it comes into the final long right-hander of the course. Then here he goes through the final turn as well. And Fizzy doing a much better job on deployment, a very good job on deployment. Right, the money. He's 6th fastest there, 1,000 a second behind Sprint. Goodness me, you couldn't have separated those guys anymore. Maxie's invalid his time now. Oh, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Maxie now, Patrick, isn't it? I got to say, do you think the tyres can have another go around here? Because is it just one lap and done, or do you reckon the TBLT can't have another lap around here?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard, but you can do it. You definitely can do it. Of course, he invalidated early on in the lap, so he's been able to use the rest of the lap to get his ERS back and to save the tyres. So hopefully, for his sake, he's going to be able to get another lap out of it. But who knows? Timmy might actually be able to steal this under Max's nose.
And Timmy's on a cracking. We joined him in the second sector there, didn't we? And that was a cracking second sector. 0.2 of a second there on his personal best there is really good indeed, isn't it? As Maxie now coming across the line then. So this is it then for Maxie. Well, he could get another lap out. Another lap out here, but I think 3 laps on these tyres might be a bit too much. And yellow flag at the far end of the course. And I think it was the one of the Red Bulls. It might have been Matt there just slowing down. He's on an out lap at the moment. Of course, the drivers are just about conditioning the cars at this stage of qualifying. It's that the tension is building up, the drama is building up there as we're just watching Maxie come out of turn 3 there before flicking it up to turn 4. This turn 4 is a fantastic corner, isn't it? And he was through there quite nicely indeed then through turn 5 then, keeping it very much in the straight and narrow. Beautiful stuff then. Lovely shot there. You can see I love that shot. It's beautiful, isn't it? Very elongated that shot is as well. As we're coming into the technical part of the circuit now. Look at this left here, then we go into right again, now back into another left-hander. There's so much corners are on this part of the course, isn't it? You don't have a minute, you don't have a moment to breathe. 4/10 of a second of, my goodness me, this is looking very good. A low 16, maybe even an early, maybe even a late 15 perhaps, and if he could nail this final sector. Well, here he comes then through the final couple of corners now then. Maxie then, is he going for a second pole position of the season then? This is the last corner. Where is he? Where is he? And he is on pole position there. Wow. 16. What a time there.
Unbelievable.
That is amazing.
Unbelievable time from Maxi. I do not see anybody beating that anytime soon. That is an elite time from Maxi. Incredible time.
And Asdog jumps out the 4 fastest and good stuff for Steve has finished his time, so is his qualifying time, so has Asdog as well. We're on board Matt then, but we're keeping an eye on what Matt does because we've got to go with Sprint first. Sprint might even sneak it to the 16s here. Good time here for Sprint then, so can Sprint get in front of Matt? I think Asdog might have checked out in front of him. We're on board Sprint now then. He is coming up to the line there. He's done a very good job. He's in 4th position. What do I know? A great time there from Sprint. He's moved out to 4th fastest. Well done. Here comes Matt and Roscoe. We've also got Toon fan out there as well. Yellow flag is the Red Bull of Maxi, who's on pole position. Only his second pole position of the season. Fantastic stuff. Here comes Matt coming out to the line. He stays 6th fastest. Then what about Roscoe in the final turn as well? And he hasn't got much deployment left. We're on board the Toro Rosso driver then. DR is available. He is in at 5th position then. So a lot of times are being changed there. Matt is dropped down to 7th fastest. Toon is on the curb but not getting much purchase then. Is he going to be? He's invalidated this time. Toon has. And that is the end of qualifying. And Maxi is on pole position then for his second time of his IRC career. What a time now from Maxi. And, well, I've got to say, Patrick, you said that was an elite time. That was incredible from Maxi. What a lap.
Incredible. Honestly, absolutely incredible. That lap, I think yesterday in Elite would have put him in the top 6, top 5 maybe. So maybe it should be time for Maxi to maybe make that jump if he gets on top of his race form here in Super League. But incredible. 16 flat in Super League. Unheard of. Incredible.
Absolutely amazing stuff there from Maxi, and once again showing that he has speed. Then now has he found the cure about his race pace? That is the question. Well, it's not his race pace; it's just the consistency, isn't it? Where he has some adventures or two, doesn't he? Anyway, let's go through the grid. Go through the top 10, shall we? And look at that, 4/10 of a second separates Maxi and Timmy. That doesn't happen unless you're a very quick driver in Super. And my goodness me, Maxi really absolutely nailed those sectors there. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Toon there said, I thought I finessed it, getting close with the line there with 1 second left, but I bottled it. Don't worry, Toon, but you was in the Q3 for the first time, and I gotta say, that was a good achievement nonetheless. Broke Gorilla also into Q3 as well, so fantastic stuff for Broke Gorilla. It really is, and good to see him back on track as well after his PlayStation issues, where he wasn't getting invites and stuff out, which is a weird one, isn't it? I've never heard of that before. So we're going to go into the race then. We've got 35 laps around here. It is a very tough track. This is a very difficult track. And, a bit gloomy out there at the moment. There is a bit of sunshine on the horizon there. Fantastic stuff indeed then. As the drivers then in the top 10 are locked on their tyre strategy. Well, they're locked on their starting tyres anyway. But the guys outside the top 10, from 11th downwards, will be able to choose what tyres they're going to go on. Is it going to be the mediums? Is it going to be the hards? Then we're going to take a punt to go on the soft tyres and have a charge and run through the field then. We'll find out then, as the sprint has just said. Great quality, and absolutely, I got to say, that was a fantastic quality. It really was then, as the session is counted down then, and we are getting ready to go racing here in Super in the Hungaro ring here in Hungary, in Budapest then. So the grid is just formed up. Then we've got the formation lap then to come first then. So the guys now turn to heat engineers, don't they? As they got to just make sure that the tyres are warmed up to a suitable temperature, and just making sure that the brakes are also at optimal temperature as well. Let's go through the grid show from front to back then, before we hear about Patrick's predictions and views about how this race is going to unfold then. So Max is on pole position for the second time in his career. Fantastic stuff. Timmy is alongside him on row 1. Steve in third position with Sprint in 4th, Roscoe 5th, and Asdog in 6th position. And all the soft runners come next then. Matt 7th, Fizzy 8th, and Broken 9th position. All those guys on the soft compound tyres. Keep an eye on those guys off the start. Then we got Toon in 10th position, and that is the top 10. Everyone else is free to choose their tyres now. Harry in 11th position with Snap in 12th. We got Brown in 13th with Hog 14th. Penny in 15th position. Double in 16th. The championship leader, T. Sammy 17th. JJ is on the hard tyres, and he's had a bit of a delayed start, but it looks in 18th position. New Life in 19th position, and PB is in 20th position and 35 laps around here. Patrick, give us your final word before the lights go out. How do you think this race is going to unfold?
I mean, first we need to obviously see that T-Sam is going on the medium tyres, so he's not elected to go on any soft tyres or the hard tyres. Probably the best thing to do in his situation. Of course, if he started on the hards and had some front wing damage, he doesn't want to be getting rid of them as soon as possible. But to be honest, I feel like if Maxi gets a good start, stays ahead into turn 1, this could be his race to lose, absolutely. But Timmy's a great starter, and so is Steve, who's going to have a lot of cars behind him. But I would say if Maxi gets out ahead, it could be all his to lose.
Yeah, indeed it is. I've got to say, his qualifying performance is absolutely fantastic. But remember, Jarno Trulli, way back in the early 90s and late 90s and early 2000s, he was a cracking qualifier, wasn't he? But unfortunately, his race pace seemed to disappear, didn't he? I'm not saying that Max is like Jarno Trulli, but of course he's got to get to the end first, hasn't he? As we're now getting ready to go. As Greek Formula 1 has said, Sammy, a T-Sammy fan club here, fantastic stuff, guys. So we'd like to hear your comments, and me and Patrick would love to hear what you guys' thoughts are going to be in this race then, as the tension is building up then, as we're just waiting for the McLaren and the Williams there just to line up on the grid then. This is going to be yours, fantastic stuff. Oh, Greek also, the Greek Formula 1 club has also said, New Life fan here as well. Yes, that's what we like to see then, as I've got the same problem as Dave has, as I can't get a good camera angle, as we're just waiting for the light to come on then. Then we've got green flags fluttering all around then. There they are! Those are the 5 sets of lights, come on! We're going to wait for them to go out, and we are... Jump start for Timmy, and jump start for Timmy. Oh, racing here in Hungary then, as Maxi there is taking the lead. Oh, there's contact. Roscoe and Ralph come together then. As they come down in turn 1, Steve is taking the lead then, as they go on the outside then. It's all gone off here, but Maxi leads and yellow flag in 1 then. There's all kinds of carnage then. As a Ferrari off Hog, Broke Gorilla, Asdog is all off the train, and so Roscoe's down there as well. Maxi leads, Steve second, Timmy is down the front position, but he's had a jump start. And Toon is having the 4th position. Fantastic stuff for Toon there. With Sprint in 5th position, Matt's in 6th position, Brown, Snap and Double and PB. A bit of an appalling start at the moment then as we're just coming around then the turn 4. And how is everyone going in there? All right, but PB is dropping down a position there. Fizzy's just got in front. JJ is in 12th position. T-Sammy on the 13th position. And has he navigated himself through? Is there any damage there on that tour? Also then Matt is now past Toon. Oh, Toon's the wrong way round. Toon's the wrong way round there. And he is spun then. He's gone. Oh my goodness me, he's going against the traffic here. But luckily he's hugging the barrier then. So, oh goodness me, and he's got disqualified for driving the wrong way. That Toon has. Twice he was probably trying not to get disqualified for parking, but unfortunately he's been disqualified and he is out of the race. Then as JJ there has just gone wide there in turn 12 and dropped out of 12th position. Then a new life's up to 12th position. Fantastic stuff. Patrick, what an appalling start that was. Did you really see what was going on down the middle part of the grid?
I must say I was keeping my attention a lot on T-Sam, seeing if he can keep himself out of trouble because the championship leader doesn't want to lose any time behind anybody. He's actually took up him behind that of PB now going down the inside. He's got no front wing damage, so thankfully for T-Sammy he's able to go ahead in this race on mediums. He's already gained 10 positions from the start of the race. We've got McLaren in the background and JJ East going very wide at the first corner. He's lost a place to New Life there in the Alfa Romeo. And I must say, it was a dream start for Maxi. I mean, he didn't get the best start, of course, but Timmy ruined his chances of getting away into turn 1 because of that jump start that he had. Of course, that means he had the drive-through penalty, which he has now served, and he's all the way down there in P15. Biggest losers from there, of course, was Asdog, and I believe that of, let's have a look, yeah, of course, Toon as well. I mean, he had a fantastic start, but he ruined it with that late move. And look at that, actually. Oh, and Timmy, he must have been in the wall. Look at that, he's got no front wing, left-hand side. He's been in the pits already for a drive-through, and he's going to have to pit again for another front wing. This has been a terrible start for Timmy, but Maxi has checked out of the lead, 5 seconds already.
My goodness, we have a perfect start from Max there. Yeah, Timmy looks like he got on the curb there at turn 4 and unfortunately has damaged the end plate there on the McLaren. What a nightmare for Timmy. And into the pits comes Steve. Oh, he's got damage as well then.
Yeah, he has front wing damage.
Oh dear, not good at all there for the racing points then. So we've also got a battle between Hog and Asdog then. There's all kinds of change of positions here at the moment there. What a frantic start then to this Hungarian Grand Prix. And my goodness me there, it's been an incredible start, hasn't it? 3 laps in. And wow, we've had action all the way up and down the field, haven't we? So Steve in the pits then. So the two of the men that we was expected to be battling for the lead are already like in the pits there and having issues. As Penny has dropped down to 11th position. Double has just got by T-Sammy up in the 5th position. Wow, my goodness me, this man don't need qualified. Does fantastic stuff there. He is up in 5th position there, navigating himself through the carnage and he is in 5th position there. Good stuff indeed there for T-Sammy. He's 2 seconds away from Brown at the moment there. As BP say, go Maxi! As Maxi there is currently leading by 6 seconds. My goodness me, he's almost 6 seconds after 3 lap start. It's an incredible start there from Maxi. My goodness me, then he's a man on the mission today, isn't he? Brilliant stuff indeed. Maxi has not won a race yet in IRC, so perhaps then it's today going to be the day. Well, he's definitely giving it his all, isn't he? An incredible start there too for Maxi's race here. Double there is just was having a good old look there at the back of T-Sammy as we're on board. Brown and Matt is on the soft tires. Snap is the only other man on soft tires as well, but those soft tires we're not expecting to last too long, are we, Patrick? So Matt is going to have to be coming in the pits fairly soon, and he hasn't really got much pace on him at the moment.
No, I mean, he's going to be off of those tyres soon because look at that, he's just losing so much pace to Brown behind him. Of course, the softs degrade so much quicker than that of the mediums and the hards. What Matt is going to be praying for is a safety car or a virtual safety car to basically get a free pit stop and tuck him behind everybody else. But of course, we've already had, as we see Hog going into pits now in the Ferrari, he had front wing damage, he's changing his front wing as well. We had front wing damage for Steve, we had front wing damage for Timmy, we've got front wing damage for that of Hog. There's a lot of people making silly mistakes here that are costing so much time. But look at that, Maxi at the front, already 7 seconds ahead with just 4 laps gone. He's just doing a Sebastian Vettel at front in the early part of this decade, or the last decade I should say. And look at that, Steve Penny in P12. That is a great start for him, that man, I must say. If he keeps his head out of trouble and doesn't cause any crashes or anything like that, I could say that he might be in the points today if everybody else makes any mistakes. So that's a man I'd look out for. But what can you say? T-Sammy, what a start from that man. From all the way down in P17, I believe, up into P5 with just 4 laps gone. Incredible start line, Max. Verstappen at Russia in 2018 just took all the cars early on, and he is now perfectly positioned in this race on those medium tyres. As we see Roscoe actually going ahead now of JJ East in the McLaren. JJ not trying to get any things back there, but actually he's losing a lot of time. He got front wing damage. I don't think he does. I think he's just lacking for pace at the moment. Yes, he is. We've got Asdog behind as well, of course, in the much quicker racing point, almost making contact there. Asdog already been in the pits, I believe, for a front wing change. So he's not going to want that. Of course, PB as well making a great start. He's starting 20th on the hard tyres, and he's now up into P11. So looking at this now, people I would look for is Matt, of course, in that Red Bull, going to be losing a lot of time with those soft tyres. He's going to want a safety car as soon as possible. But looking at the battle for Roscoe, JG's, Asdog, PB, all separated in just 2 seconds, it's going to be a fantastic battle for the rest of these points.
It is, and of course, I think that was a critical move out from Roscoe, because look at the gap there between Roscoe and New Life. It's 4 seconds there. It's oh, Sprint, I think it's gone off. He has gone off the track.
He has.
But he's not damaged the wing, luckily enough, so that might be a saving grace there. But Sprint there, unfortunately, the perilous turn 4 there. Oh, he's gone also across the chicane as well. Hopefully, he hasn't got a penalty there. It's a good stuff indeed there. And JJ was going across the chicane as well. It's getting very fraught behind JJ at the moment. Asdog is very keen to get by him, isn't he, in the racing point. But 9 seconds in front there. I've got to say that is a very impressive start from Max there. You said Sebastian Vettel there. He just used to like to run away from and get out of the DRS there. But my goodness me, Maxi is in a different league at the moment. Wow, that's incredible stuff.
I mean, it's a Red Bull 1-2, of course, at the moment as well. That's going to be fantastic for them in the constructors' standings. But looking at that, Matt is just struggling so much down on them soft tyres. He's going to be pitting any time soon. I would not be surprised if he can stretch out to lap 9 or lap 10. He actually might be able to get on those hard tyres and stay on those for the rest of the race. But it's going to be his thing now to make sure he keeps those people behind. As Toon leaves the session, of course, disqualified for driving the wrong way around, unfortunately for him. But looking at Matt now, he's actually slightly pulling away once again from Brown. I mean, of course, it is a very hard track to overtake, so of course Matt's going to have that in the back of his mind. But looking at that now, Sammy, P4, you can see P2, incredible start from him.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, Patrick, but JJ and Asdog came to blows there, unfortunately.
Oh, in the wall, PB out of the session.
Oh my gosh.
That could be a safety car, surely.
And well, that's an unusual place where he went there, because we was keeping our eyes on what happened between Asdog and JJ. That's a virtual safety car, not a safety car, which is interesting because he is kind of in the line of fire there, isn't he? I got to say, I don't really see many drivers in the wall there. I think the last person I've seen in the wall there was Massa, wasn't it? Where all he did there was just brush his own wing, wasn't he, in those tricky conditions? But yeah, so PB unfortunately out of the race, and I think today would have been a good day for points for PB. So that's unfortunate there, isn't it? But yeah, Petit Sammy, 4th position, incredible stuff. Toon has just said that. How was that DQ fair? I was avoiding all the traffic. I had no choice. He is very angry there, Toon is. I got to say, I kind of agree with you. Matt's in the pits there, so he's using this virtual safety car. No, he's coming on it. Oh dear, that's a Hamilton-esque kind of
damage. Front wing damage. He's absolutely done that absolutely completely wrong. Maybe he was trying to get that of Brown to go into the pits as well, but he's ruined his opportunity there, and he's lost his front wing as well. What was Matt thinking?
Yeah, he looks like he was caught in 2 minds, and he's trying to overtake. It's a virtual safety car finish, and oh dear, as now we're back racing, but it's getting a bit untidy there, isn't it, between Matt and Brown there. Now Sammy is also involved as well, as Sammy going on the outside then, and he's up in the third after 7 laps. My goodness me, what an incredible start for Sammy. I gotta say, this has been an absolutely fantastic start to Sammy, hasn't it? Really has. And when we think he's on the back foot, this man just is never on the back foot. Oh, I thought he's going on the inside of Brown there. I got turn 5 would have been very interesting attempt to overtake there, but yeah, but he thought Brown is in second for this road. Remember, Williams are last in the constructors at the moment, isn't it? As PP has left the session, so this is good news for the Williams team, isn't it? And as I said before, Brown and the Williams team probably deserve more than what they've got so far, but can he hold on to this then? I've got to say, there's a very hungry Sammy behind him at the moment there, and Sammy on the medium tires along with Brown, so they're on the optimal strategy moment. 12.3 seconds now the gap is between Maxi and Brown. Then Maxi potentially, as PB's back in the session then, is he probably just wants to just enjoy the remainder of the race then, which he should then, because this is going to be a cracker, isn't it? It's going to be a corker. Oh, maybe not then, as he's left the session again. Sammy is in DRS, isn't it? And here he goes then, so he has DRS available. Matt is in the pits this lap then. He was undecisive in the last lap, wasn't he? New Life ran a fantastic race up to 5th position then. There's the Sammy's on the outside. Brown is braked so much later, but he's going to go up and under. He has gone up and under. So much more purchase. Snap's got a 3-second penalty, and he is through and up into second position. Good 17. Roscoe's got by double, as double is having a look as well. We've also got JJ, Penny, and Asdog also batting away as well. I got my bearings mixed up there. I thought they was all close, but they're not. It was just Matt there. He's coming on the pits in 13th position by looks. He's on the hard tires then. He's 2 laps away then from potentially going to the end then. Could he get out? Could he from this stage of the race then to get to the hard tires to the end then? Or do you think it's a big ask?
It's possible. It's very, very much possible. One thing he'll definitely want is a full safety car. That way he can save his tyres, or of course pit for new ones. But yes, it is possible, just to make sure he doesn't push too much or lose a front wing. Because if he does that, he's going to gain so much more tyre wear, of course, with that change of front wing that Matt had in the pit stop as well. He's found himself losing a lot more time than he wanted to. But hopefully for his sake, now he's in clean air, he's going to be able to get onto the back of that Fizzy and hopefully get past for him and gain some good points for the Red Bull team. But looking at Maxi out front, he is just absolutely checked out. Even with T Sammy in P2 now, he's still losing time to Maxi. Maxi is just incredible form at the moment away at the front here in Hungary.
Just going back to the pit entrance incident with Matt and Brown then. So what do you think that, because I thought I would have come in the pits there just at that time then, because it was virtual safety car. You don't lose as much time when you're in the pits, do you? Because you're not restricted by the delta of the virtual safety car, only by the pit lane speed limiter. So why do you think Matt changed his mind there? Do you think he could have eked out the tires slightly more and try and go on a couple more laps? What was his play there, do you think?
Possibly. I mean, looking at it, it looked like, I only caught the end of it, but it looked like Matt was trying to jink Brown into coming into the pits as well. But of course, Brown didn't do that, so Matt decided to change his mind right at the last minute. But because he did that, he went across the curb, hit the Williams of Brown, and that meant that he lost his front wing and lost even more time. But as you see, Asdog gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple ones as well. He's actually right behind now that of Steve Penny in the Mercedes. Steve Penny, a very quiet race from him, but he's done a fantastic job to stay out of trouble and get up into P9 at the moment. A great job from him, and I must say it's been a fantastic drive so far from that of Steve, getting out of Q1 as well, which he doesn't do very often, but he's done a fantastic job this race weekend at the moment. So let's see if Asdog can get past on the straight, because it's very hard to do any overtaking really around this track, even on the main straight, because there's not really that much of a straight really to be able to get enough speed to overtake into turn 1. But yeah, Maxi at the front, incredible. Look at that, 14 seconds now, even with Sammy trying to close in on him. Of course, Sammy, I'm sure he'll be happy with P2 after the qualifying session he had, qualifying P17. But looking at it now, it looks like it's going to be a lonely race at the front for Maxi unless the safety car comes out.
Liz did. He's almost checked out. The great old battle between Brown and Sprint here for third, fourth, and fifth. Sprint is trying to put the inside there as we're trying to look. Where are they? There they are. But Brown is still in third position at the start of the moment. This is a great race from Brown. New life as well. Remember, he was near the back as well. Same with T. Simon. The two Greeks are flying through the field fantastically well, aren't they? Brilliant stuff then. As New Life's in fifth position. But we've also got Roscoe joining this battle as well. We've got a 4-car battle here. We've also got, as Patrick said then, Penny there and Asdog battling for 9th and 10th position then, as Penny there once again doing his trademark, just coming through the field nicely whilst everyone else is
he's gone.
Penny,
he's gone. No. It was a fantastic race from Penny up until that point, but he clipped the curb on the inside of turn 5, the one thing we didn't want him to do, and he has gone into the wall. Looks like he's got front wing damage. He's going to beg for a safety car now as he goes through. Yeah, he's got front wing damage on the right hand side. He'll be able to pit now though, put those hard tyres on. You'll definitely be able to get to the end of the race. If he keeps himself out of trouble for the rest of the race, he should be able to grab maybe a point or two if anybody else has a problem. But that is so unfortunate for Steve Penny, and Asdog's been given a gift really to get through. And now he's on the back of JJ East in the McLaren. That's how he gets a 3-second time penalty there for corner cutting or exceeding track limits. But yeah, Steve Penny, what can you say about the man? But look at that, into turn 1, JJ Sprint has got ahead of Brown. Is he going to be able to tuck in behind and get into turn 2 and maybe go down the inside? No, he's not. But looking at that, Roscoe on the back of it as well, of New Life as well. Looking at this, it's going to be a fantastic fight for the rest of the race for P3. Looking at that, I'm sorry I missed it, guys, but Sprint got ahead of Brown into turn 1 and then finished the move into turn 2. And looking at that now, Brown is struggling really on those medium tyres. He's going to want to pit this lap possibly to maybe get the undercut on everybody else. I would say the pit window is now definitely open for those medium runners. Anybody on the hards will be looking about lap 20 or so. It's a common misconception that you have to pit around 15, 16, 17 on the medium tyres. That is definitely not true. You can get the undercut on the hard tyres, get them fresh new tyres out from about lap 11 and make sure that you can get ahead and through on your competition.
Looks like there's a bit of a train now forming behind Brown, isn't it? So let's see how much sprint has got then. Can he sprint away, as they say, and get in front of Brown and keep in front of Brown? But Brown, I think Brown's done a very good job actually in the in this second part of the lap, hasn't he? He's kept within half a second of a sprint now, and is doing a very good job there for Brown. Really good stuff there from himself in the constructors as well as in the drivers as well there. But New Life there is going to probably be looking more behind him rather than front, because Roscoe is starting to prowl, isn't he? But New Life there is having a look there, but I think he's too far back then. Maybe he's trying to distract New Life there. Trying to distract Brown there, perhaps. He's now coming down to turn 2, but it's all status quo at the moment as Roscoe is also gaining on the back of JJ as well. But JJ there just holding his line there and just not being frightened off the road, is he, from Steve? But Steve's gone out. He's got a run going into turn 2. Is he going to have a look on the inside? Contact! And he has spun around, and oh dear. And Steve there is facing the wrong way. Maybe a bit of a optimistic move there from Steve, but as he's trying to come back through the field there, the guys that are on the Q3 there and having very good qualifying sessions, having some nightmare races like some Broke Gorilla, Steve, Matt, and Fizzy and Co. They're really having a very difficult race at the moment, aren't they? Back on board New Life at the moment as he is chasing Brown down at the moment in the Williams there. New Life and T Sammy have been absolutely fantastic. I've got to say, those two at the moment early candidates for driver of the day, as Granty is cheering on Roscoe, as Roscoe's had a great is up into 6th position now, as he is battling away for this battle for the final podium positions at the moment. And as Patrick said, I think this is going to be a juicy one all the way to the end of the race there, isn't it? Double's 5 seconds back at the moment. Asdog is now catching up on his good friend Double in 7th and 8th position, as JJ's got, but we'll come out in a minute as Brown is going on the outside, because on the inside is New Life. He passes Brown, moves up here to 4th position, but Brown is back on the inside there. But I think it might be job done. But Roscoe wants to have a go for it as well. This might be a carbon copy. No, because Roscoe has gone on the inside there. He is through. Oh my goodness me! I thought he was going to have a carbon copy of Slim and Yor from last night then, and that became a bit feisty, didn't it, after the race? But away we go, and Roscoe in the 5th position then, and good move there from Roscoe. Good move there from New Life as well. Unfortunately for Brown, he's dropped down 2 positions there. It just seems to be kind of a never-ending effect, isn't it? Where you lose 1 position and you seem to be out of position for the next car to overtake you as well, unfortunately. Brown dropping down to almost 1.5 seconds there at the moment. Do you think Brown's struggling on those medium tyres there, or do you think that that's just a pace disadvantage at the moment?
No, I think he's definitely losing time on those mediums. I mean, of course, he was ahead of this train for quite a long time, so he was using all his ERS, he was using all his tyre grips to try and stay ahead of everybody, whilst everybody else was tucking in behind the slipstream, using that to their advantage to save their tyres. So I would not be surprised at all if his tyres are a lot more worn than everybody else's. But I'm not surprised. I am surprised as well that T Sammy's got a yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like we've got a racing point off. Who is it? It's Steve once again. He's reset the track. It looks like he's hit the barrier. Yes, he has. He has a broken front wing yet again. It's been a terrible race from last week's race winner at the moment. On those hard tyres, going to have to pit again, otherwise he's going to lose so much time on that front wing. But yeah, I'm really surprised that someone like T Sammy hasn't pit already to put on a fresh set of hards, get those laps in early, and try and close the gap on that of Maxi, because you can pit now.
Isn't it? Well, it's not a very funny situation for Steve at the moment, but isn't it funny how motorsport is and how sport is in general? Last week, Steve was on top of the world, wasn't he? He had the most, Roscoe's got a 3-second penalty. On top of the world, an incredible drive from Steve. How he controlled the race was absolutely mind-blowing, wasn't it? And then this week, it just doesn't seem to get the rub of the green, does he? It's incredible, isn't it, how much sport just flips on its head, doesn't it? New Life is now coming to the back of sprint as well, as New Life are just almost going off into the scenery there, isn't he? He's 5 tenths a second away from sprint, but he looks like he does have the legs over sprint at the moment in 3rd position now, as Steve has dropped all the way down to 17th position now, hasn't he? As another unscheduled stop as well. He's on the medium tyres then. We're on lap 15 out of 35, and he's got about 20 laps to do. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if the medium tyres will be able to go to the end from there. I think that's a bit of an arse there, isn't it? So do you reckon Steve is probably gambling on the safety car from that point?
I mean, to be fair, mediums can go that far. Of course, the fuel load in the car as well is going to get a lot lower. But if he sticks behind other cars, that's going to be a struggle for him. Of course, in the dirty air, it's going to lose him a lot of tyre grip. He can do it, but he's going to have to do a lot of tyre saving. And hopefully, for his sake, like you said, he wants a safety car to hopefully bunch the field up, and that way he'll save his tyres a lot more as well. He's got Asdog and Double Cream Car as well going through into turn 1 and turn 2. It looks like Asdog's got through on him, and yes, he has going through into turn 2 now. That is the racing point ahead of the Haas now into turn 2.
Good overtake there from Mansell. We also see New Life moving up into third position as well, just overtake Sprint. So good stuff there indeed then. I've got to say, oh, yellow flag. I think it's a red ball. Oh, then. I apologise. I think it's a snap just there. Get out of the way of Maxi. I apologise. I was getting a bit excited about Sprint as well. I think I'm seeing things here. So is Roscoe. We're on board at the moment then in 5th position then. Sprint is in 4th position at the moment then. This is the close battle on track at the moment. Fizzy is actually coming to the back of JJ, and Matt is coming to the back of Fizzy as well. So we've got another 3-car battle at the moment then. And it's the Concertina effect around here, isn't it? It's a field spread, isn't it? Where you just seem to be on the gas there, a car's width behind the car in front, which is quite an obvious statement, isn't it? But it's quite obvious around here. Roscoe comes into the pits then, and he is coming into the pits. So I wonder if he's going for the undercut around here. How powerful is the undercut around here then? Do you think Roscoe's trying to get in front of New Life and Sprint with this pit stop?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's perfect time to go into the pits now. He's going to have a lot of grip towards the end of the race, even on those hard tyres, which he is putting on now. Oh, he's putting mediums on? No, it's definitely hard. They just had a bit of a glitch there in the game. But yeah, hard tyres for Roscoe. That's definitely a good strategy from him. If he doesn't get out in any traffic, which he definitely isn't doing, looking at that, he's got a lot of free space now. When if he pumps in a few good laps, he could definitely jump those of Sprint and New Life.
JJ is went completely off the track there. I'm not even sure. I think completely missed the braking point for turn 1. Unfortunately, that's left Fizzy and Matt through then, and that has absolutely worked out beautifully well for Roscoe. Do you think that Roscoe judged that on the track map, or do you think that was more luck to do with that, or am I giving him too much credit, or was that just great judgment?
I mean, it can be a bit of both. As Steve says, flapping 19.9 on those medium tyres, he has to keep those again in the race. Let's not forget, it's Max. He comes into the pits, the race leader. He's into the pits now. Hopefully, for his sake, he's not going to come out in any traffic and losing time to that of T. Sammy. But yeah, you can definitely, as Timmy gets another 3-second time penalty. It's been a terrible race from him as well so far. But yeah, you definitely can judge if you've got the full track map on. You definitely can judge to see if you'll get any free space. But looking at that, Maxi is in the pits and he has got so much space on the track. He's going to be absolutely fine coming out of the pits just to go through and set more consistent lap times and hopefully for his sake win this race. Look at that, we've got New Life and who's that, Sprint in the pits as well. Let's see now if Roscoe can actually get ahead of them going through the final corner. He's stuck behind that of JJ's, but for his sake he's going to want to get ahead.
Well, this is going to be very touch and go as that we're on board then. So we've also got Matt and Fizzy also battling away as well. This is getting very tense, isn't it? He's in front. He is in front. Then it's out of the pits. There comes out from it. And the Mercedes. Also, Roscoe just getting past JJ as well. JJ's overcooked it. And he has spun off it. He's at a tap at the wall. I'm thinking might have got away with that. Yes, he has then. But unfortunately for JJ, got on the loud pedal a bit too early there, didn't he? And half spun it. Roscoe, the gamble's paid off. He is in 8th position. New Life is down into 9th position. Fizzy is dropped behind Matt as well. Matt has moved up to 6th position then, as was on board with Timmy when he had that corner cut, and unfortunately I think he got that corner cut because he was too close to Broke Gorilla there, and I think he was trying to be cautious, and unfortunately because of that he got a corner cut, which sometimes life just isn't fair, really, is it, around that. So we're on board New Life at the moment then, as you can see Roscoe trying to pull away now as well. So Roscoe there rolling the dice, coming in early, and he is judged that to absolute perfection then, and he has left New Life and Sprint there in his wake at this current moment in time then. Matt is now in at 6th position then. Matt is on the hard tyres, so he's done 9 laps on those hard tyres. Into the pits comes Brown then, so Brown is in the pits then. He is going to be losing out quite dramatically to this, to these guys here, because he is in 2 laps behind Roscoe. And yellow flag as we got a Haas, I think, of Broke Gorilla, who's facing the wrong way, and he is trying to come back on the track, as luckily there's no one in his facility, and that's coming out to turn 12, that is. So as Broke Gorilla there just dropping down the order as well. Double Cream Cat's in the pits then, going on to the hard compound tires. He's in and out, and away he goes then. JJ there is just coming down the back straight, and he's on the hard tires. Remember, he started on the hard tires, so JJ's going to have some speed in the later part of this race, and maybe going to the medium tires to the end of the race then. So he will have a pace advantage, won't he? Double's out in 12th position, and Double on good on course for some very good points here tonight. So good stuff indeed there from Double. Hats off to his performance there on his return then to league racing after a week or so out there. So it's great to see Double back in action, and it's also great to see him doing a good job then. Broke Gorilla, I've got Double on my mind now. Broke Gorilla in the pits then, and he is going to fit on the medium tires, I believe, in the Haas then. He's dropped down to 18th position there, unfortunately. And last at the moment, 2 retirements, PB out of the race, and Toon out of the race as well. Toon getting disqualified for driving the wrong way, even though I think I do agree with him, and to some effect he was just trying to, he didn't want to stop on the circuit because he would have got disqualified, but at the same time the game disqualified from driving the wrong way, which I think is harsh. T Sammy's in the pits then. He's going to have 2 laps younger hard tyres. Fizzy's in the pits as well then, and I think now then that unless we have a safety car, I think that might be the strategy done and dusted then, so we're going to have a couple of good battles then out on track as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing the outcome of this one. Matt's 2 seconds in front at the moment then. He is just in front of us. He has done 11 laps on those hard tyres. We did talk about this before about Matt there maybe being able to get to the end there if he is very kind on his tyres then, but I got to say then I think it's advantage Roscoe, New Life and Sprint, but he does have track advantage, and as you said there, it's very difficult to overtake around here, isn't it?
Incredibly hard to overtake. Looking at that, track position is always important. Of course, looking at that, I'm pretty sure T Sammy, before he came into the pits to put those hards on, I think he was trying to hold out just for a safety car, maybe get that cheap pit stop and actually go ahead of that of Maxi, but unfortunately for him it's not worked out. Of course, he's lost a bit of time now to Matt, but of course Matt is on those 11 lap old tyres, so he's not going to mind that of Roscoe now, as Matt gets another 3-second time penalty for his case. He's not going to like that. Broke Gorilla on the the medium tyres as well in 18th place. He's going to want to gain some time now on those ahead of him. But looking at this group of cars now, 4th, 5th and 6th, separated by just over 2 seconds. Brown as well, who also pitted behind, lost a bit of time, but he's going to want to close into them as well if he can do, and make sure that he gets onto that Mercedes of JMM Sprint. But looking at that through the final corner now, New Life is going to go right on the back that of Roscoe, and hopefully for his sake he's going to be able to get into that DRS zone, pull in going into turn 1. But looking at that, the straight is just not long enough. He's not long enough. But looking at that, he's going to go down the inside. No, he's not. He's going to hold back for this lap. But yeah, the straight down here is just not long enough at all to be able to make that DRS work perfectly. It's not like Hockenheim, like I said from a week ago. But looking at that, Roscoe is doing a great job to defend his lines. Broke Gorilla gets a 3-second time penalty as well. And Timmy in the pits again in the McLaren. He's had an absolutely horrendous race. Is he going to change the front wing? No, he hasn't. So it is a scheduled pit stop for him. He's on the medium tyres now until the end of the race. But looking at this now, the fight to watch is definitely that of Roscoe, New Life, Sprint. And of course, Brown, who's wanting to get on the back of him as well. Looking at that, Asdog's going to go down the inside of turn 4. Has Brown made a bit of a mistake, possibly going through into the first section of the lap? Asdog going right on the back of him now in sector 2. He's going to want to try and get on the back of him as well. But looking at Asdog, they're both on the same set of tyres, both 2 laps old. So looking at them, they're going to want to try and make sure that they get those tyres to the end of the race as well, and also try and get to sprint in at the Mercedes. But looking at it now, Roscoe is struggling. To keep New Life behind him. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Looks like a Renault's gone off. Which Renault is it? Oh, look at that. It's Snap. Snap's gone off, lost his front wing. That's not going to... Oh, yeah, virtual safety car. So looking at this, it could be a cheap pit stop for somebody now. Is anybody going to take the opportunity? T Sammy, no. Maxi, no. Is Matt going to go in the pits? No, he isn't. Is Roscoe? No. Nobody wants to go into the pits and try and risk this now. I don't blame them. But with 14 laps to go, somebody surely wants to make that gamble, but it doesn't look like they are at the moment. Everybody going around the final corner. So I would not be surprised if they kind of try and stay now to the end of the race.
I wonder if JJ might come in the pits. Yeah, Nick, because he hasn't come in the pits yet, and he is coming in the pits there, but unfortunately that is badly timed for JJ. And Asdog is caught Brown unaware there by surprise. He is up to 7th position and really got the jump there on Brown, and he is through and up into 7th position there. Asdog very much wide awake there for that virtual safety car. It's a bit of a skill, isn't it? There's a bit of a skill behind the virtual safety car, isn't it? It doesn't sound like it, where you have to like go slow and just make sure you don't go over. He's got a yellow flag. That is Broke Gorilla, who is off the track, and he is out of the race. So that is coming out of the Mickey Mouse chicane now, and that is a shame now for Broke Gorilla. And on his return, he had a good qualifying, but unfortunately in the race there, he just hasn't had the rub of the green now, has he? So unfortunately for Broke, he is out of the race then. And it looks like he might have gone straight on there. So luckily, though, he hasn't caused the safety car. It might be unlucky in some cases, but definitely, unfortunately for Broke Gorilla, out of the race then. But I'm glad to see him back in racing. So good stuff indeed there from Broke Gorilla. And hopefully he can have a better time when we go to Belgium in a week's time. The best racetrack in the world, in my opinion. I love the Belgian Grand Prix. It is absolutely fantastic stuff, isn't it? Brilliant race course it is. New Life Fair is 7/10 of a second behind Roscoe at the moment, and Sprint has dropped back there to about a second and a half. They're gaining on Matt now. Matt is only a second and a half in front then, as Roscoe once again then going off the racing line there to just defend his position. Then is he trying to break the toe down that back straight?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, going through that back straight, you want to make sure that you don't get anybody right close behind you, because of course going through that of turn 1 as well, it's going to be a struggle for them. But looking at this now, it's getting ever so tight at the front. I mean, look at that. Maxi, of course, is bolted at the front, and T. Sammy, incredible race from him as well. I must say, looking at driver of the day for him in P2 at the moment, as we see Timmy on those fresh medium tyres setting a 19.9 to get the fastest lap. But look at this now. Roscoe, New Life, they're really struggling, but look at that. They're still pulling in on Matt, so the last podium place is not over for the moment. Matt is struggling with those 14-lap old hard tyres, and looking at this now, he's going to struggle in the final last part of the race to keep that Red Bull in P3 and join his teammate on the podium.
Oh, this is going to be good, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to this. And we've got Matt Roscoe, New Life, and can't count out sprint either. We're keeping on Asdog's pace as well, because I think Asdog does have some pace in that racing point. I think he caught up to the back of Brown there quite considerably quickly. And very good stuff indeed there. Brown doing a good job still in 8th position there, but don't count out Asdog then. But yeah, looking forward to this. And once again, the New Life is just keeping to the back of Roscoe. Is 1.7 tenths of a second. That's what I meant to say there. I got to get my teeth back in. So yeah, so Matt is 1.7 seconds in front of Roscoe, and New Life in third position. This is the battle track. But we've also got Steve and Hogg, who are in close company as well. As Steve coming around the final turn, and Hogg has made his way up into 11th position. He's done 18 laps on those hard tires. He has done the most laps. And look at this, though, as Steve just had so much purchase out of the final turn. He has passed Hogg before he even got into turn 1. Good stuff indeed. Then Timmy's showing some pace as well on those medium tires. It's such a shame that Timmy's had a bit of an eventful race, really, isn't it, from our point of view there, because it would definitely have spiced up the battle at the front. And even if it is, it's quite spiced as it is, isn't it? It's a brilliant battle up front between Roscoe and New Life. I'm loving this battle. As you can see in the middle sector there, Roscoe is losing time to New Life. I wonder if he's doing a lot of harvesting in the second sector there. Do you think that's what they're doing in the second sector? Just doing a lot of harvesting and then just like launch off the start finish straight?
Yeah, definitely. That is the best place to do it. And looking at Roscoe as well, as IRS at 89%, so he's got a lot of that to play with. So he's going to be able to defend very easily from that of New Life. New Life only on 38% ERS. But yeah, the middle sector, you can't overtake there. So it's the perfect place to get your ERS back to normal. As Hogg gets another 3-second time penalty. But look at this now, New Life on the back of Roscoe. He's going to be able to make him into turn 1. Doesn't like it, but who knows?
And you can see, I think he is too far back there, isn't he? But he's definitely giving Roscoe something to think about. As Maxi's got a 3-second penalty as well. I'm not sure how detrimental that would be to his race at the moment. But I think only chink in the armour, I suppose, isn't it? But Max at the moment now, 16 seconds in front of T. Sammy, is absolutely an astounding lead, isn't it? Remember, T. Sammy did start in 17th position, but we'll come out of this because the glue knife is going on the outside into turn 4. My goodness me, Roscoe's got a 3-second penalty. But wow, that would have been a brave move there. We've seen Grosjean have a go around the outside there in 2012, I believe, but he, of course, he got a slap on the wrist for that, didn't he? Because he came off the track.
Roscoe going really wide and squirrely on that exit of the chicane as well. He's struggling now on those hard tyres to keep that car ahead of New Life. The man that this is helping the most is that of Matt in P3, struggling on those 16-lap old hard tyres. He's gained a second on these guys since they've been squabbling for over P4. But looking at that now, Roscoe's actually pulled a gap now to that of New Life. New Life 8 tenths behind, so he's still going to have DRS, but he's going to really want to tuck in behind him to be able to get into turn 1 and get a move done. But it's not going to happen this lap when he's that far behind. And Sprint's being dropped off the back of this as well. Asdog and Brown, they are not closing in as quick as they wanted to. So Asdog in a bit of a lonely 7th place, as is Sprint in 6th, 1.6 seconds behind that of New Life as well. It's just excruciatingly too far for him to be able to get that DRS. And look at that now, Roscoe's actually got out of DRS zone of New Life, so it's going to be great for him. Is New Life struggling maybe?
And how difficult is that to keep your mind in like the correct place where you just feel that he's just out of reach? He just seems to lap after lap. He just seems to just be straight, just not long enough. How difficult is to keep your mindset in a positive like frame there? Oh, we got a Mercedes just off the track.
It's very hard. Yes, when Mercedes going off the track, they're going to come back on hopefully before they get to see Maxi there. Hopefully they're going to do it. Yes, he's absolutely fine. But yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard to get your mindset right. I mean, you've got to make sure that you don't make any crucial errors, because if you do that, you're going to have to build up all that gap again to get back into an overtaking possibility. I mean, with this track, you can make a dive bomb into turn 1. You just have to make sure you're within that certain distance of about 5 tenths of a second. That way, you can definitely make a move into turn 1, even if you feel like you are a bit far behind, because the car has to see you and has to pull out if you get through. So for that of a New Life, he wants to be able to just squeeze as close as he can up to Roscoe, but Roscoe's actually gained a second again on that of Matt, so he is pushing as hard as he can now. Matt maybe made a mistake on the 17-lap old tyres, but he is absolutely struggling now in that Red Bull. And the sister team, the Toro Rosso, they're going to want to possibly get into that P3. I mean, he's got 9 laps to do it. It looks like he can though.
And there's no loyalty in IRC for sister teams or anything like that, is there? So, of course, there's no, even though, I've got to say, the Toro Rosso and the Red Bull, the 400 power cars in this championship have been absolutely immense this season. They really have. I think Maxi and Matt and T-Sammy and Roscoe has been such an incredible partnership for those two teams. It's been absolutely amazing stuff. And I remember the beginning of the season as well, I was also excited about Steve and Asdog's partnership as well. And that's been a very good partnership, but I think that those two partnerships have been absolutely amazing stuff. Remember, the Constructors returned this season, didn't it, after season's absence? And I've got to say, what a season for it to return as well. Toro Rosso there are almost 99 points in front of Red Bull, and that is an incredible amount of points considering the fact the talent you have in Red Bull is absolutely amazing stuff in there. Matt currently third in the championship at the moment. Asdog is second. As it stands, I think Matt will go into second position. I think he will actually. No, he won't. Sorry, that's my poor maths. No, he won't go into second just yet. But I think that he'll be looking behind rather now in front, because the T-Sammy's 4 seconds in front in second position then. But yeah, Roscoe is homing in. It's 1.5 seconds at the moment, and he looks like now that New Life has dropped out of the DRS zone, he's struggling to catch up there. That's probably the dirty air there in the technical section of turn 2, isn't it, where he's really struggling to keep up with Roscoe.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try his hardest, I think, to just try and kind of maybe... I mean, it's hard for him. It's hard if you want to try and gain in that middle sector. You have to do to go in to turn 1 with any chance of getting through. You have to use your ERS, but at the same time, it's the only place in the lap where you can actually save the ERS and not lose any time. So it's kind of, he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place in New Life. Roscoe, I don't believe, has any penalties. I'll double check that for us now. But if that's the case, New Life is going to be struggling. Yes, actually, Roscoe does have a penalty. He has 2 penalties, in fact. Let's see that of New Life. Does New Life have any penalties? No, he only has 1 warning. So if he keeps it behind, he might know this already. He will already be able to get that. Look at that. Matt's got another 3-second time penalty as well. If New Life closes up to the back of Roscoe with the last few laps to go, he could actually go on the podium.
Oh, this is looking very good indeed then. And how does a driver know about the penalties? Does Jeff tell you, does it, or do you just, can you tell from the lines that they take? As we've got a yellow flag.
Yeah, we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure where that's come from, but yeah, you can ask Jeff, you can ask the engineer, driver in front, driver behind, and he'll tell you how many penalties that the car in front or behind has in the amount of seconds that they have. This is a new thing for, I believe it was 2018, or it might have been this game actually, where Jeff tells you that information, but it's very helpful when you're in the heat of the moment to just get the radio on and see how many penalties people have around you, because that way you can make sure that you don't make any silly mistakes and don't ruin your race if you know you're going to get ahead of them anyway.
And I think that yellow flag was actually for Brown by this, because Fizzy's got in front of him and back up to a position there. As Brown was running his highest third earlier on this race, wasn't it? Well, highest second, wasn't he? Unfortunately, he's dropped down to 9th now, but he's still on course for some points there, so he just needs to keep it going. And those points are valuable, isn't it, in the drivers and the constructors. The drivers are so close in Super, as it is in Elite there, isn't it? Of course, these two championships are nip and tuck, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic stuff, and of course, the standards will be updated after this race as well. And it just shows how incredibly tight both championships are. It's fantastic. New Life has all of a sudden got a new life, actually. New leash of life there. And that was pun intended. As he is now 0.5 of a second away from Roscoe. A very good... he looks like he had a lap off, and he's come back on now. Car 79 is now starting to put the squeeze on Roscoe, isn't he? As the laps are ticking down, then he, as T-Timer's got another 3-second penalty there. That might cause him some issues later on, especially with New Life not getting any penalties at all then. Perhaps then New Life might be able to get himself into second, perhaps. Maybe. Yeah, Roscoe there is still 1.6 seconds behind Matt. He just can't seem to get that final second and a half behind Matt at the moment, can he? And I think New Life is now starting to become impatient in the in 5th position then. As Sprint has dropped 4 seconds back now. He is really struggling then. Asdog is now going to be on the back of Sprint's gearbox as well, as we're ticking down. We've only got 6 more laps to go. This race is flying by. This is the best chance for New Life, isn't it? He's gaining. Roscoe's gone to the inside. New Life on the outside. Roscoe just about keeps there. Is New Life going to go up and under? No, Roscoe's done a very good job positioning his car now defensively. Very well done. But look, there's New Life is going to go on the outside into turn 2. Not quite, as Roscoe is still in 4th position about there. Remember, New Life was very quick on a couple of laps go down here, but I think at the moment it's still status quo then. But very good defending there from Roscoe. I got to say, that was pretty impressive how he just positioned the car beautifully well there to not give New Life any sniff of an opportunity there. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was a great defending there from Roscoe. I mean, surely New Life must know that he's got penalties. I feel like Steve Penny gets a 3-second time penalty there as well in the Mercedes. I feel like New Life must know that if he gets past Roscoe, he can get ahead of Matt as well because of the penalties that Matt has. So he knows he has to get past Roscoe so that he can stay within those 6 seconds of Matt ahead. Of course, Matt is only 1 second up the road, but you don't know what's going to happen. If them two start squabbling, he could run away with this and get into that last podium position. So New Life's going to know he has to get past Roscoe as soon as possible.
I'm loving this. This is a great final end to the race as well, isn't it? Of course, then we've had 2 virtual safety cars in this race, and we haven't had as much action as we did in Elite last night. But my goodness me, this has definitely been a more mental battle, hasn't it? Really about how strong is your mental side of the game as well as physical, isn't it? And my goodness me, there's been some great one-upsmanship. Asdog's gone to 6th fastest. A good recovery drive from Asdog in the end. Fantastic stuff. He's back up in the 6th position sprint. Just unfortunately struggled with the pace in the second half of the race on the second stint on the hard tyres. But I think still a very good portion of the points there for sprint. Fantastic stuff. New Life Fair just dropped back. The gap's now down to 1.4 seconds. Matt is only 4 seconds behind as Steve is now in front of Brown up into 9th position as well. Matt is only 3 seconds behind T Sammy at the moment. Do you think T Sammy might be just coasting to the end now? He can't coast too much though with the penalties he's got, can he? Because I think New Life haven't got any penalties at all, and he's only about 5 seconds back.
Yeah, I mean, T Sammy only has 1 penalty at the moment, so if he keeps that as the way it is, he's not going to struggle to stay in second place. Of course, Matt's got 6 seconds worth of time penalty, and Roscoe also has 3 or 6 seconds. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But yeah, T Sammy looks like he's going to settle for second place. I would not be surprised if he's absolutely ecstatic with that result. Probably feels like a race win considering where he started in P17. So I would not be surprised at all if he just wants to get to this finish and get those crucial points for his championship charge. But looking at this now, New Life has actually lost a bit of time to that of Roscoe. Roscoe's one who's actually gained a lot on Matt. He's only 1.1 behind now. Crucially, only a few tenths out of that DRS zone. If he keeps that up though, going through this first and second sector, he's going to be getting that DRS into turn 1 as we see New Life going on the back of him now. Yeah, but he's just too far away into turn 2. It looks like his tyres have gone now. But looking at this, Roscoe is closing in on Matt, and maybe, you never know, it might be a last lap shootout.
Well, this is going to be very intense indeed then. As we're watching Brown then, and Timmy is going on the inside. He's going to be able to salvage a point, I think. Now he's on the medium tyres. He's through and up into 10th position there. Brown, unfortunately, dropped down to 11th position. But remember about penalties as well. That could be crucial later on this race. Then he's a second and a half behind Steve. Steve's done 17 laps on this medium tyres head. So Steve is not out of the woods yet either. But Roscoe was gaining on Matt. But all of a sudden it's yo-yoed back around, hasn't it? Now it's back up to 1.4 here as Matt is now starting to pull away again, isn't it? I think Matt's doing a fantastic job on these tyres. He's done 23 laps on the hard tyres so far. Of course, we've got another 4 laps to go in this race then, so we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch just yet. But hats off to Matt. And how difficult is the job is Matt doing here though to keep these tyres in play then for so long? I gotta say, I struggle with my tyre life. So it's absolutely incredible stuff what Matt's doing, isn't it? Just to keep these tyres going for 24 laps. That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the middle sector of this lap is an absolute killer on the tyres. Not only do you lose it under the traction, but at the same time it's hard to control the car in very traction limited areas. So Matt is doing a fantastic job, not as only to do that, but at the same time to keep the tyres and the exits of the final corner absolutely perfect so that he can get away from that of Roscoe into turn 1. So to be fair, I think Matt's done an absolutely fabulous job considering he's been on those tyres now for 24 laps. 3 laps to go. He's going to want this race to finish anytime soon.
Yes, I think it'd be counting down as we got a yellow flag. Oh, it's T-Sammy! T-Sammy is off the track there, and what an amazing race is unfortunately going to have a blemish here. He's damaged the front wing now, and what a shocker there for T-Sammy there. Oh my goodness me, he has drove an absolutely spectacular race from 17th on the grid, and as coming through the field and navigated us through the chaos of the first couple of laps, and he has gone off there. What a shame for T-Sammy there, and that is a lot of damage there on the Toro Rosso. He's going to have to come in the pit. Surely he can't limp along to the end of the race with that. Oh my goodness me, that is an absolute, that's a horror, isn't it? It's in turn 4 there. It's so easy to do around there though, isn't it?
complete loss of concentration for T. Sammy. He didn't have to do that. He had all the time in the world to just stay ahead of Matt in second place. Matt was on 24 lap old hard tyres, and he has just absolutely thrown away what would have been a fantastic driver of the day style race. And he's going to have to come into the pit surely. Yes, he is doing now. He's going to maybe want to try and get the fastest lap to steal that away from somebody. But I actually can't believe that T. Sammy has made a crucial error, and he's going to lose a lot of points today to Maxi, Matt, Roscoe, New Life, a lot of people who are fighting for this championship with him. Although it seems like a bit of a far-fetched opportunity for them, you never know. In IRC things can happen, and it usually does. So let's have a look at this now. He goes into the soft tyres and changing his front wing, but that is incredible. He has lost second place, and he is down and outside of the points now. So unless he gets into the points, that fastest lap won't even matter anyway, because you don't get it unless you're in the top 10.
What an absolute shocker ending. And yeah, I'm exactly right. Anything can happen in IRC, and it usually does. My goodness me, we said at the beginning of the race anything can happen, can't it? And the man who has had an absolutely spectacular drive there, he had a brilliant drive there to get himself up in the second position. How he navigated himself through the open couple of laps there with all the incidents and action going on there was absolutely fantastic stuff. But T. Sammy, what a shame that he's thrown away 18 points here today. Wow, that is a huge amount of points to lose there, but yes, he has got an advantage there, and that's a Mercedes off the track.
Oh, Steve Penny.
Steve Penny.
No, we got so close to the end of the race. What a shame for Steve.
That is such a shame there for Penny there. What a shame there. T. Sammy has just gone in front of Double, moved up into 11th position. He's 12 seconds away from Brown. Potentially could get a point or two, maybe. If well, he's going to have to have an amazing final part of the race there. But it does also depend on the penalties as well that Brown is carrying. As back to the battle for was now second and third and fourth, isn't it? Roscoe is now under a second behind Matt then, as we're on the 34th out of 35. Then Timmy is also on the back of Steve as well. Steve has got 6 lap older tyres than Timmy has. This may pay dividends later on. Then we're going to find out. Then this is going to be a final, excited end to this Hungarian Grand Prix. As we've got to say, look at that. It's getting very tasty, isn't it? It's just a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment there. Matt does have penalties, and New Life could be promoted up to second there. So New Life has had a fantastic race as well. So we was talking about his performance earlier on, and but Asdog has also reeled himself in as well. Asdog is only a second behind. My goodness me, he's had a flying of the last couple of laps. Blimey, that's good. Matt's
tyres are absolutely dead. Sorry to cut you across there, mate, but he is absolutely struggling. Look at that now in the final few corners. Look at that. Roscoe is practically pushing his gearbox along. He has absolutely lost all grip in those tyres. He's going to be able to keep it a Red Bull 1-2 into the final lap. It's always hard to put a move onto anybody going into turn 1 here, but he's going to have one opportunity. Here's Roscoe. He's going to be able to make it stick.
He's looking good here, isn't he? Look at that. He's got the slipstream. He's got the DRS. He's got the tow. He is up in his second position then. And he passes Matt. Then Matt dropping down the third position. A heroic drive from Matt, I got to say then. 27 laps on those hard tyres is absolutely fantastic stuff. Asdog is also giving New Life a cause for concern as well. As we're on the final lap then. As they all decide to bunch up together on the last couple of laps. And fantastic stuff then. Matt is down in third position then in the Red Bull there. We've also got Timmy there. Is also the straight is just not long enough for Timmy, is it? T. Sammy has got the gap from 12 seconds down to 7 seconds in the matter of a lap then. So potentially he could go into the back of Brown then. He might be able to salvage a point then. As I got to say, that is how big the gap has been. As Maxi's just come around the final turn, the second to last turn as well, whilst we were just talking about T. Sammy. What a win for Maxi here. This would be his first race win in IRC. And what a dominant performance. He exits the final quarter and he wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Fantastic race there from Maxi. Absolutely outstanding drive. Brilliant stuff there from Maxi. His first win of RC, believe it or not, but maybe this is going to be the first of many perhaps, and this could be the win that really gets it, unleashes him. Roscoe is coming through then. Will he finish second then as he comes through the final turn then? So Roscoe is second on track. Matt is second, or is no, New Life is second. Alsdog is up in the third. Matt is fourth. Roscoe is fifth then. Here comes Sprint to finish in fifth position then. Roscoe and a lot of penalties once again then. So here comes Fizzy coming through to finish 7th in the end. He's 17 seconds away then. Roscoe is 76 hundredths of a second behind Sprint. Steve there, look at this as Timmy is pushing Steve through there in 8th and 9th position. How are they going to finish? C8, Timmy 9th. Here comes Brown then. Is he going to be able to get the final point then? Let's stay on board with Brown then as well then. So Brown dropping down into 10th in the end then. He would get in front of T. Sammy. The championship leader is currently out of the points. He stays out of the points as well. double in a very hard fought 12th position in the end then. And then we got JJ and Hogg in the 13th and 14th position then. What a race then that was. That was a fantastic that was a fantastic race. Incredible. It was a race of very much a race of mental strength there, wasn't it? And a great drive for New Life today. I got to say, he probably is my driver today. After Sammy would have been a driver today with an amazing drive, but I think New Life has done an absolutely splendid job today. Fantastic stuff. As
I mean, not only has Sammy lost a lot of points in the championship for him, but Toro Rosso lost a lot of points as well. Red Bull with a 1-4. Getting the most points out of anybody in this race. They're going to jump up ahead of Racing Point now as well, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on Toro Rosso in these last few races.
And of course, the constructor's just as valuable as the drivers, isn't it? So it's getting very tasty indeed. And Sammy there seems to, had a bit of a nightmare show here tonight, didn't he? Oh my goodness me, qualifying didn't go too well, and the race there was looking so good up until I think it was that 33 or 32. My goodness me, as Jan has just said, thanks for this great race. Absolutely, the drivers have been absolutely heroic today. And a quick mention there for New Life, for Sprint, and for Steve for having no penalties there. Well done to those three. Brilliant, so indeed. Let's take a look at the final classification then from the Hungarian Grand Prix of IRC. And Maxi there won the race there from pole position to checkered flag there. And he had one 3-second penalty there. It looked quite easy for Maxi out in front, didn't it? New Life, what a drive from 19th to 2nd. Brilliant stuff. Asdog 3rd. Martin 4th then. 5th was Sprint. Roscoe 6th. Fizzy 7th. Steve 8th. Tivy in 9th position. And Brown gets the final point in 10th position. Sammy 11th. Double 12th. JJ, Hogg, Harry and Snap all finished the race then. And then 17th position. Penny, Broke, PB and Toon Fan all retired then from this Hungarian Grand Prix then of round 12, I believe that was. Patrick, can you sum that up, please? That was an absolutely incredible race there. Really was.
It really was. I mean, Maxi, absolute domination in that Red Bull. It was like the early 2010s with that performance from him in the Red Bull. I mean, what can you say? It was a fantastic race from him, but also a fantastic race. Well, it was looking like a fantastic race from Sammy, but he threw it all away. And in the end, he lost everything, lost every single point. He got fastest lap, but of course he wasn't in the top 10, so he didn't even get the point for that either. But yeah, fantastic race, I must say, an absolutely dominant win from Maxi.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible stuff from Maxi. It really was. As I said, his first race win in IRC. It was really impressive stuff, wasn't it, for Maxi? Very well done. And I think I might light a fire under him now, going into Spa in a week's time, which is where the IRC guys are headed next week. Then on Wednesday night, it's the Elite guys again. Join Patrick. Can he make it a hat trick of wins in the Elite there? My goodness me, Patrick has really turned the Elite season on its head, hasn't it? With 2 wins out of 2, impressive stuff indeed. And then going into Super as well. Maxi might have started a charge then as well, and potentially going to make Sammy look over his shoulder with an absolutely amazing performance tonight. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been absolutely great stuff. As we've just had asked someone asked if we can join the next season. Then I would say message Bilton Matt, cover IRC, and he will get in touch with you. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been an absolutely spectacular race. We'll see you in a week's time as we head over to